Now, that's not the first time we've seen that this year. We had a similar incident with a Ford at the Nürburgring, Andy Priault in the car. And we've had a couple of fires on GT cars this year, all stemming from fuel probes not sealing or not filling properly. But that's, most of those have been in other series, not here in IMSA. That was very quickly dealt with, and believe it or not, and Shea will tell me if I'm wrong here, it looks like they're cleaning that car up. They're doing the tyre change, and that will be down and away in a second.
They have cleaned the car off. The extinguisher inside must have gone off as well, though, because the back window was completely covered from the inside with extinguishing.
They were spraying it in, Shea, through the engine cover.
It down. Yeah, he's going back out. Wow, good work by Scuderia, of course, proving yet again why they're a championship-winning team 2 years in a row in GTD.
Well, let's hope that the fueler was okay, because he was on fire for a while, but he was put out very, very quickly. She'll have a check down there, make sure everybody is okay. Nasty incident there.
Yeah, that was scary.
And from race control, relayed to me from Bubba Clark, Philippe Albuquerque, drive through for the number 5 for blocking.
Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised to hear that. We haven't really seen evidence of it, but except for down at turn 1 on one particular lap. He's still ahead of it now, so going into turn 1 right now, and that's not a particularly savvy move there to be caught. I'm sure we would have got a warning first of all.
Yes, yeah.
So, you know, that's a championship contending car. You can't afford to take risks like that. And there's contact. That's the leaders in PC and making contact with one of the Turner Motorsport BMWs. That was the leader, which is number 52 car, and he's got Kent Cook all over to the back end of that car.
And pushed him into Marco Seefried, who is 3rd in GTD. Nothing Marco could do, and nothing either that Cameron Lawrence could do there either. He was the innocent party, the meat in the sandwich, if you will, as he was pushed across. I'm reminded by Graham Goodwin, by the way, that the fire at the Nürburgring WEC for Ford was caused by extraordinarily a part of a tie wrap caught in the fuel filler. These tiny little things can make things go wrong. What worried me about that was the fuel hose was still allowing fuel out when it had originally been stood up, and then it was down on the ground. Shea Adam has more from Scuderia Corsa.
The 68 just did a drive-through. The crew member, though, is fine. He was actually sweeping up some of the extinguishing that was left on the pit lane. The 23 has gone back out on track. That is the Porsche. That is the Alex Job, the heart of racing Team Seattle car. The Ford number 66 pulls in, hits its mark. That driver gets out. Dirk Mueller getting behind the wheel of the 66. They are doing a 4-tire stop and refueling the car. He shuts the car off. Now he refires it, tries to engage it in gear. It doesn't want to go. He's having trouble getting going. There we go. Now the Le Mans winning car goes back out. Number 4 Corvette also into the pit lane. No driver change there. They did do 4 new tires. Still waiting on the fueling for that car. I'm now watching the fueling really carefully of pretty much every GT car that comes down this pit lane. Fueling done. 4 is gone. I'm on the pit wall. It's okay.
The battle here for second place in GTD. Marco Seefried gets a great run off the turn 10A there, and over the top of the hill he will take over that position from Cameron Lawrence. But we've got battles all the way around here. We've got a battle between the leader and the car that's almost 2 laps down. They're coming past start-finish line again, and once again he dives to the inside to go past 2 other lap cars in turn 1.
All right, it doesn't take much, but how did Cameron Lawrence get ahead of Marco Seefried to start with?
He hasn't pitted yet.
Ah, I see. Yes, of course. Ashley's just coming into the pits now from 4th position. Thank you. I am a bear of limited brain.
No, well,
thank you.
It's just that, yeah, Seefried
yes, because Blinkermolen now leads, because he owes us a pit stop as well, I presume.
Seefried was in, I think,
he was miles ahead.
Yeah,
he was miles ahead. You're right. He was 34 seconds ahead, and that's turned around now to around about a second deficit to Blake Mullen, who now owes us a pit stop. So, moving in to the final couple of hours, and Marshall Pruitt of Racer.com just chatting to me on the text here. Says this is a bizarre race where it seems every car's had an issue, bodywork damage or some momentum halting incident, but no major incidents in terms of crashes from FP1 all the way through to now. That's unusual for Petit. You're absolutely right. Let's hope we haven't put the mockers on it by mentioning it, as Olivier Pla is still trying to get round and put a lap on. Who is that ahead? Can't see the car. It must be Albuquerque again, is it?
Ahead of him, yes, it will be.
So has he done his drive-through yet?
No.
Probably not. So he's got about another lap to do that. And here's the opportunity for the leader as they wave through the traffic. And that is the BMW of now Jens Klingman has just taken that car out and he's on his outlap. Therefore, he is a little bit of a sitting duck at the moment for Jörg Bergmeister, who's also come out the pits. And Jörg Bergmeister and Klingman behind this battle for second, behind this battle for the two, put the lap on the 5 car, are battling for position in GTD. It's been a... well, drive-through blocking for penalty for the number 5. Another incident where he pulls across and pulls back. He's been on the ragged edge a couple of times through turn 1, through turn 6 and 5 here. Well, so there's a move there. Goes to the right-hand side. I don't see much wrong.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Don't see anything wrong with that one, but we have seen him moving around quite a lot. He's been making it very difficult. He's trying to stay on the lead lap or stay from going another lap down.
Yes, that's correct.
And yeah, but he'll have been warned, as Jeremy rightly said. And without
second and third going to turn 1, separated by less than a car length.
This is Spencer Piggott and Ricky Taylor going up the hill from 1 to 2, and this is second overall. Marcus Paltaler has taken over the 97 BMW. You're right, Jeremy, there has been some fluid on the screen of that number 60. It's dried now, but you can see the streaks where it's been. Yeah. I've got a feeling that Oz Negri will be getting slightly peeved with the number 5. That penalty was called a wee while ago, and he'll be seeing it as well. There'll be a black flag over the start-finish line, and there it is on the left-hand side with the number 5 down into turn 1. So Oz has just backed off a little bit because he knows that car's ahead of him, got to go into the pit lane, get 3 laps to come in, and then starts getting serious with race control. There may be some chat going on backwards and forwards between Action Express and the race director, but a bit like arguing with the ref, it's normally few and far between that the decision is made and then reversed. I have seen that before, but not very often. It tends to be on a technicality, and very seldom, unless compelling evidence is given, do you get something like that overturned.
Yeah, and the PC meanwhile, Jose Gutierrez has weathered that storm a bit from Kenton Cook. He's pulled away just a little bit over the last couple of laps. He's got the margin out to about 3 seconds again. That's between the number 52 and number 38 cars. They are battling for 7th and 8th overall, and the lead in PC as they come across the line now. One goes into turn 1 now, and Kenton Cook turns into the corner now. So that was gives you an idea of the differential between number 52 and number 38, the battle for PC.
Well, that's at least the second time he's been across the start-finish line since we've mentioned that penalty for blocking, at least. So this is going to be starting to irk race control now. There must be some kind of conversation going on. Basically, the challenge flag must have been thrown by Action Express to try and keep him out there for a little while. as Oz Negri still sits in behind there. Ricky Taylor's doing a great job of keeping Spencer Piggott behind him, because Piggott's got a quicker car at this stage of the race.
Yeah.
Ricky Taylor's waiting for the darkness. He wants the darkness. That's when the 10 car's going to come alive. So he's doing such a good job that Simon Pagenaud in 4th position is now within 5 seconds of the pair of them. And he's taken 2-3 seconds a lap out of them, because Taylor has just eased his pace to the point where he can control Spencer Piggott behind him.
Yeah, at the same time, actually, Scott Sharp is closing on those two as well.
Blocking penalty for that number 5 as he peels off into the pit lane now to take the drive through as we come down to the 2-hour mark. And let's just have a quick look again. It's between 5 and 6. The Park Place car on the right-hand side. Oz comes across, gets down the inside. Oh, it's still a bit marginal, but certainly that's where it was called, between 5 and 6. It looked like Oz had position, and he is the leader of the race, in fairness, and the 5 car is already a lap back. You're listening to IMSA Radio live from trackside. We're heading towards the last 2 hours of the race. We're going to give some points out for the Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Cup. Time to do a bit of arithmetic again from Jeremy Shaw on my left. Sirius 106 and 145, XM 203, FM 97.9 around the circuit, and of course on the IMSA app and our syndication partners around the world in sound and vision. This is the 19th Petit Le Mans, presented by Harris Cherokee Casino, and we're live on IMSA Radio.
The WeatherTech SportsCar Championship on IMSA Radio.
Jeremy has the abacus out again. We'll give him a chance to make that work, as in comes the Ford 67 into the pit lane, and Shea Adam is watching that and the pit stop from the number 9 of Lawson Aschenbach.
Scott Dixon jumps out from the 67, looking still very spry and energized. Richard Westbrook crawled into it looking a bit more dejected, as he could understand, knowing at this point to win the championship it's not very likely at all, but he fires up the car, 4 Michelin tires. Had a little bit of trouble getting the driver's side door closed, but they managed to get that accomplished. The 9 is having a very standard pit stop. Did not see any driver changes going on there, but I did see new tires going onto that car. Yep, still lost them in the car. And full load of fuel as the, is that the number 100 is going behind the wall, and the number 31 will be coming in very, very soon. As a matter of fact, it's here.
Oh, door open for the number 67. Driver's side door open going through turn number 1. In comes the Simon Pagenaud driven number 31. It looks like full service, Shea Adam.
It is full service as far as fuel and tires, but no driver change for the number 31. Simon staying in the car for another stint. These are, again, sticker Continental tires going on to the number 31, and the driver's side door popping open on the Ford. I knew that I saw it pop open. They had trouble closing it. They did get it closed, and then he left the pit lane, and apparently it wasn't closed enough. 31 pit stop looked really, really good.
Shea Adam, our Continental Tire pit lane reporter. So as we move into the last couple of hours, I'm going to give Jeremy a wee moment to just get himself sorted with our Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Championship. As I say good evening, because I think we can say good evening at 7:15 to Tristan Herbert from Audi Sport Customer Racing. Tristan, lovely to see you again. Thanks for coming to see us.
Always a pleasure, John.
At IMSA Radio. This has been an absolute cracker, hasn't it? It's had everything, including carriageway repairs. We've had
absolutely.
the fastest road crew in the world here.
Yeah, this has been a great race so far, and you know, we're getting into that witching hour where we only have a couple hours left, and you know, everybody's going to be pushing it. It's the last of the North American Endurance Championship, so everybody's really, really hustling today.
Pipo Derani and Simon Pagenaud going door to door there for a moment into turn number 6, as they've both just come out of the pits. Very, very close calls from the Ricky Taylor car in there, as well, as he goes through and continues along the road. Tristan, the growth of GT racing in particular, GT Daytona, GT3, the rest of the world will understand that as has provided a huge opportunity for manufacturers like Audi. You've taken it with both hands. The original Audi R8, well over 100 examples sold to customers as incomes. The number 10, we'll keep an eye on Ricky Taylor as he comes into the pit lane. The second iteration of the car, you learned lessons, it's been improved. The street car was even influenced by what you learned from the first racing car. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, the new car, we knew we were going to have a lot of interest in the new car. You can see we're running 3 teams this year in the series, and it's been fantastic. I mean, that 50,000 kilometers of testing have gone into the new car, and all of our teams have been very successful this year, I would say. It's never easy to bring a new car to a new marketplace. You've got teams who've all transitioned over from other manufacturers. Are you happy with how things have gone this year? Absolutely. Yeah. You know, Stevenson Motorsports has done a great job transitioning into that car. You know, coming from the platforms they were running with before and now moving into this was definitely a big jump for them. But they're no strangers to GT racing, and they're happy to be back in it. And you've now got a new product to play with as well, because a very exciting announcement. Another LMS product, which effectively means customer racing, doesn't it? Right. Don't try and work anything out from LM and S. I'm sure it means something in German, probably long distance racing. Langstreckenmeister, something or other. Yeah. Then this is the new RS3. It's a 4-door sedan saloon that's specifically built to the TCR regulations that look to be doing for touring car and entry-level endurance racing what GT3 has done for GT and endurance racing. Yeah, and you know, we are all extremely excited with what the car looks like. I mean, I was blown away. I landed the other day in Atlanta, and the car had been announced, and it was at the Paris Auto Show, and my phone just exploded instantly. I was trying to get my rental car and get out of there, and I saw the pictures of it obviously before that. But yeah, it's really important for us, and we're really excited about it, and meaning in the fact that we have an opportunity now to pull this kind of entry-level access into motorsports and within the Audi Sport Customer Racing program. We're of course still developing where that car is going to actually run, you know, what the allocation would be to the US and everything. But we're confident that we can work with IMSA to see where that car would be placed at some point. What Audi Sport Customer Racing doesn't have right now is a GT4 car. Correct. Yeah. Is there one? They're working on developing it. I think it was a platform issue for them. You know, they had looked at the TT Cup car for a little while. Didn't quite fit into that platform in relation to other brands and what they're doing right now in GT4. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately the strategy for us is, can we create that ladder system within motorsports for customer racing, and also build that ladder system for our customers already running GT3 programs. What are you hearing from customers and potential customers that they would want from you as a GT4 car? Would it be something built on the R8 platform? Other manufacturers are doing similar things between GT3 and going sort of reverse engineering into GT4, or would it be a completely different platform? Yeah, you know, they've gone back and forth on a couple things, and I think to everybody, and it's kind of obvious, that's the only thing that makes sense when you look at some of the other brands and what they're putting out as a product for GT4, or what they're planning to do. But yeah, I mean, as of now, I don't really know a lot of the details as it relates to what AG's decisions are, but I would guess it would be some sort of a dumbed down version, let's say, of the R8 LMS, right? It makes sense. Yeah. It does make sense, because trying to go across too many platforms is not good for everybody. Also, it gives the opportunity for somebody to go into GT4, trade up to GT3, and continue their motor racing career. Stay with us, Tristan. We're going to come back to you in a wee second, but I want to go down to Shea Adam for this Continental Tire pit lane update. Shea?
Well, we've seen a bunch of pit lane issues down here in the last couple of minutes. The number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing DP pulled into its marks perfectly. Tire change was done, fueling was done. There was a slight issue with the body paneling not fitting on the nose exactly how they wanted it to be. So they took some time and made sure that they got it to sit flat, made it happy, put a little bit of Bondo tape on it, but they've got more out should they need it. The number 3 came down the pit lane, the Corvette that is several laps down, or 1 lap down. I think at this point, they did not do a driver change, but they did do full service to that car, fuel and tires. The number 33 Dodge Viper just came onto the pit lane as well. Jerome Bleek-Mullen staying behind the wheel of that car. Fuel and sticker Continental rubber for Jerome, so look for some really quick times from him. And just now, the number 912 came in. Fred McAvecchi got out. Earl Bamber got in. He should be in for the rest of the race. Meanwhile, the number 67 Ford GT, the one that came into this race second in the championship, sits on the pit lane still, having issues with the door. They are going to put an entire new left side door onto that car.
Thank you, Shea. Jeremy Shaw has been doing the arithmetic. We had the abacus out for a moment. Shoes and socks were off there, Jeremy. Another 5, 4, 3 and 2 for the Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Championship results, and these could be very important. Obviously, we award full points at the end of this race, but how does it stand as of now? If I turn your mic,
I believe that number 5 team has clinched the prototype championship for the Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Championship. They now have 41 points against the 37 of the number 2 car, and with only 5, 4, 3 and 2 to go to the end of the race, I don't think they can be beaten. In PC, Kenton Cook solo and the number 52 car are tied on 42, so whichever wins between those two, and they've just exchanged positions out on the racetrack, by the way. Kenton Cook has just gone past Jose Gutierrez finally, so that battle now is going back and forth, but currently they're tied on points. In GTLM, number 4 car has just clinched as well that championship. That's Oliver Galvin and Tommy Milner, and in GTD, number 44 car, that's Magnus Racing Audi, holds a 3-point edge over number 23 car, which is the Spirited Racing Porsche for Alex Job Racing, the car number 23. So number 44 car almost has a lock on that, but not yet quite.
Thank you very much indeed, Jeremy Shaw. And the 60 and the 70 both on the pit lane. Oz Negri's gone back out again. Spencer Piggott is into the pit lane as well. Discuss the ramifications of that, because I don't think either of those cars, or the number 10, can make it on just one more stop from here. Let's work that one out. It's going to be a splash, isn't it? It's one and a splash. Yeah. From here. Tristan Herbert is still with us from Audi Sport Customer Racing. It's a good time to be in endurance racing, and it's exciting for us, exciting for you guys as a manufacturer to be talking to these new teams and potentially bringing people in from other parts of motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, it's the R8 I think has proven itself time over time that it's the longevity of the engine and the reliability of the car,
which comes from the road car, of course.
Absolutely, yeah, it's very close to the road car. Shares about 52% of the same parts, so it's you know, I think, like we've always said, we've developed our motorsports program very closely with our street car program.
How important is GT3 as a formula now adopted here in GT Daytona been for you and indeed for other manufacturers? Because let's be honest, there's a huge choice of GT3 cars in spreading the word. And how important, therefore, is it for you to have a distinctive Audi Sport Customer Racing difference to bring customers to buy the R8 rather than one of the other 14 or 15 choices they have?
Yeah, and honestly, the competition's been really tough. You know, there's a lot of great products out there, and you know, the series has done an excellent job to getting everybody where they need to be from a BOP standpoint. You know, it's been a tough ride from the inception of GTD in the first year and where we are now, but you know, this year even the racing has been really close. We've gotten down to nitpicking over fuel restrictors, you know, to the point where all the cars are so close. So
on the fill,
on the fill, right.
44 car in from the lead of GT Daytona. Marcus Seefried has just brought that car in. Jeff Siegel will go around and take the lead for the moment in the 60 63. But presumably, like everyone else, you've got to offer better customer service.
You do.
To either get the customers or to keep them.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to the support that comes with it. You know, there's a lot of manufacturers that are here that offer different levels of support. Audi Sport Customer Racing is a customer-based program. You know, we bring parts to the track. We do engine service, or I'm sorry, gearbox service, but we also have a program where we can actually loan a team an engine if it's needed. We can loan a team a gearbox if it's needed and they need to move fast and don't have the time to rebuild something. So a lot of that, and then of course Brad Kettler, you know, the famous Brad Kettler, having him on our team and alongside us to help navigate some of that stuff.
Yes, what he can do with a small piece of wire, some cutters and a soldering iron is nobody's business. Quite frankly, he's an engineer right out of the old school who knows all the new stuff.
Right.
All the new stuff as well. Got to talk about next season. We're not quite finished this year. You've got the 44 car still looking pretty strong at the moment. Next year, new challenges for you guys with new manufacturers coming in.
Yeah.
I know that updates come along. Is there going to be much change to the R8? Are you expecting more customers? What can you tell us about 2017 in the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship?
You know, we're obviously getting a lot of inquiries about the car, and due to its success with Magnus Racing and Stevenson this year already. But yeah, no changes planned. There's always slight updates that follow any production of any car like this. I think this weekend, you know, there was a couple changes related to lighting on the car and things like that. So you'll have the little updates here and there, but for the most part, it stays the same car. And you know, hopefully the success continues into 2017.
And you get to come to more racetracks.
That's right. That's right. I always joke around because everybody always comes up to me and they go, "The season's almost over. We're almost over." And I'm like, the season is never over. Nothing ever comes to an end in motorsports. You roll right out of the last race and prepare for Daytona, and it's all a big 2-month rush.
Well, and your colleagues in the rest of Audi Sport Customer Racing, like anybody who races GT3, I know from our point of view that over on our sister service at RadioLeMans.com, our last GT race, which will have GT3 cars in it, will be in December, somewhere around the 17th of December at the 12 hours in Abu Dhabi. Our first one is the 24 hours of Dubai, which is the 8th or 9th of January, so there's no off-season anymore.
No, there never is. There never is. And even when you're not at a race, that means you just have 2 months to do all the paperwork and meet all the teams and sell cars and all that stuff. So it's a hustle constantly.
It keeps turning out those lovely cars. Can't wait to see the RS3 TCR, the RLS LMS, as it's called. You will push to get some of those in the States. Where does that fit in the States at the moment? I know there's a longer-term hope that, or at least proposition that from maybe 17 or 18 might be in the Continental Tire Series.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, this was a very well-planned production cycle on this car, and the idea is that we're going to offer this to not only the customers that are in professional motorsports, but this car is going to be available to everybody who's the track day guy, the enthusiast, anybody who wants to take a car out, and we've strategically
so things like Car in the UK, the longer distance versions of the International Endurance Series. We've got a 24-hour at Quarter with the guys from Creventic, that sort of a customer as well.
Yeah, but not only that, also into the private track days and also into club racing as well. So the plan is to just release the club sport version of this car with an opportunity to buy a package later on when this car is eventually driven in the US in a Pro Series. You can buy a package to update it to the spec for TCR International.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Tristan, thanks very much. I know there's a big team.
Always a pleasure, John.
That are working really, really hard indeed. Go off and enjoy that lovely Audi race experience, hospitality that I know Shea and Jim have been helping you
guys make sure you eat your bananas and your chips and all your food in here.
We've been doing all right, I tell you. Thanks, Tristan. Let's head back down to, go on, Jeremy, grab something. Let's go back down to the pit lane and to Shea Adam, but first here's Jim Roller. Oh, sorry, Shea Adam, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to sign up for a track day car, that's all.
You've seen the pictures, haven't you, of that LMS RS3? That is quite remarkable.
Oh yeah, it wasn't pretty.
That was gorgeous, absolutely.
No, it was pretty. The car's pretty, but when I saw it, what happened wasn't pretty.
Yeah, in that black and red colour scheme as well. All right, we're inside the last hour and 3/4 now, so just on 100 minutes or thereabouts of racing for the 2016 season to go. And the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship is far from done in terms of the action. Spencer Pigot has dropped away to about 3 seconds away from Simon Pagenaud now in second place. Ricky Taylor in fourth as Pipo Derani chasing him down 4 seconds. So 60, 31, 70 and 10. They're all still battling at the head of the field in GTLM. James Collado for Ferrari. I'm going to touch wood when I say this, because if I jinx this, Dave Sims will kick me in the shins. But it's been a faultless performance so far by Risi Competizione. And he has got a 30-second lead over Dirk Muller. It's Ferrari versus Ford, but this time it's the Ferrari that has the advantage.
Tommy Milner now is right with Dirk Muller in third for second and third. Meanwhile, the number 25 car that was running really well, unfortunately has dropped out. About what 10 laps ago it came into the pits and doesn't seem to have emerged. So maybe we can find out what happened to the 25 car, because that had been running really strongly. As we see, the number 63 class leader for Scuderia Corsa, Ferrari comes up the pit lane for scheduled service.
And 4 tires and a driver change for that number 63. Alessandro Balzan back behind the wheel. Fuel going into the car as it is joined on pit lane by the number 5, soon to be joined also by the number 6 Audi. We were just talking about Audis, and an Audi decided to come visit me. Very kind. 5 is getting fuel and tires at the moment. You'll have to keep an eye on that one for me, John, though, because the 6 has just pulled into the pit lane right in front of me. And Andrew Davis getting out, Robin Liddell getting in. Those look like scrubbed. Nope, they are sticker Continental tires for the 6 Stevenson Audi. Robin and Andrew did not expect to come into the championship this year and have a fighting chance at a top 5. Well, now they do. They're going back out knowing full well that if they wanted, they need a good finish to solidify their position within the top 3 of the GTD points. A quick clean off of the rear taillights and a little bit of issue shutting the driver's side door. And the driver change assistant backs away from the car, a little bit afraid as he shut the door, and then Robin instantly took off. Number 5 has left the pit lane as well.
IHG Rewards Club keys to the race were patience, obviously, work the yellows. We've seen that happen. We've seen people changing their tactics even various times through the race as well. Get your points for the endurance series at 4 and 8 hours and be there in the darkness. We're inside that darkness couple of hours now. But the other thing was execute in the pit stops. And Jim Roller, you've been watching the Audis, and the attention to detail that helps those Audi Sport customer teams make those good decisions and execute is quite remarkable.
And it really comes to fore when we're at this hour of the night, when it's light enough to see, but you need a little extra illumination. The 6 and the 9 and the 44 all have lights in the wheel well, so that when the crew is working, they can see the tire as it comes off. They can see when they put the tire back on. There's a little LED light in the wheel well. Is that not slick?
I like that. Do you not think they're just like rolling with the kids? It's not just something that lights up underneath, are you sure?
It's not neon under the floorboards. No,
okay.
no, man. No, babe. No, it's not.
I know that's what you run all the time back at home on your cross.
Oh, yeah. I've got it on the Spider. Yep. Yeah, it looks really rad, man.
Yeah. Right, Jeremy. Front of the field, Os Negri Jr. doing his absolute best to deliver that win for John Pugh, for Michael Shank Racing and for Ligier Honda. 38 seconds the lead now. Simon Pagenaud is the man who's under pressure now from Spencer Pigot. And that 31 car is now only a second and a half away. And Spencer Pigot, I am super impressed with what Spencer's done since he got in that 70 Mazda, which seems like 6 hours ago. I know it wasn't, but he's just been plugging away, doing what he needs to do. And
yeah, he got in that car at 4:55. We're now 7:35. Wow. So
he's coming on for 3 hours.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, quadruple stint there. Really excellent job by Spencer Pigot.
That is very, very impressive indeed from a young man who has a big future.
Yeah.
Huge future. Jose Gutierrez comes in from the lead of Prototype Challenge. And Shea Adam is there.
It will be a driver change, the final one of the night for the PR1 Matheson crew. Tom Kimber-Smith getting installed behind the wheel of that. Jose jumps out the right side of the car. Tom comes over the left-hand side. A very familiar position for Tom because it was 12 months ago that he was getting strapped into a very, very wet 52 car. He drove that car home for the win that year, though, and got out of the car quite covered in mud, which I don't think will be an issue for him today. 4 new Continental tires going on that machine. Driver change taking a little bit of time as the belts get sealed in. Car comes off, it's Jack's, and out goes Tom with that green number 1 on the side of his number 52.
And yeah, so that will...
Sorry, Jim, were you about to say something there? No. Yep. Go on, man.
No.
It's okay. Thank you.
The number 38 car with which number 52 has been battling, that was in a little while ago. Interestingly, the number 52 car seems to be able to go considerably longer on pit stops. Last time they were separated, the last round of pit stops was only 4 laps between their pit stops. This time it was 8. So the 38 car coming in 4 laps early.
And
I think from here, though, now...
PC's one more stop.
That car does.
Yeah.
I think the 38 car, they might have to make an additional stop.
A splash somewhere.
Yes.
Or split the last stint into 2 more equal halves.
It's going to have to make 2 stops, and the 52 car, I think, is only going to have to make 1. So John Hayes, the chief engineer, along with the strategist and team owner Bobby Oracle, along with the Mathesons, Leslie and Ray, they've done an excellent job on that team. They really are. I mean, John Hayes is one of the best engineers around. He's not the most well-known, perhaps, but I tell you what, he's had a huge amount of success in a whole bunch of different formulas. He kind of dominated USF 2000 for a long, long time, and he wants to do the same here in PCs. But I chatted to him the other night, and he's so enthusiastic, and particularly looking forward to next year when that PR1 Matheson Motorsports team had already ordered a brand new DPI car or P2 car for next year, a brand new Ligier Gibson that are going to be taking delivery of fairly shortly. That certainly is exciting news to see that team stepping up to the prototype ranks.
Yeah, I'm just working out when the last pit stops are likely to be at the head of the field.
Yeah, well, they'll be...
I'm not sure that it's not going to have to be a 1 and a splash for most of the top 4, because it hasn't been the race that these guys expected, if I'm honest.
No, they'll need 2 more pit stops.
In the GTLM, it is Collado from Milner for Antonio Garcia. So that's Ferrari, Corvette, Ford. And the number 3 car back up into 4th position. Still a couple of laps. Let me see. Yes, 2 laps off the lead, that number 4 car. But that's been a good fight back. Now, helped by some travails for other cars, including the 912 Porsche, the 68 Fire, of course. Sandro Perguidi in that car. That is still out, but 6th position. BMWs have dropped off the pace as well in the second half of the race, as Richard Bradley goes out in the number 88 Starworks Prototype Challenge car in 4th position in their class.
What were you talking about, GTLM?
Yeah, sorry.
The 25 cars obviously had a problem because that was running really, really well. It's been in the pits for a long, long time. Came in the pits on lap 310, and we're now another 20 laps down the road.
So there's a story at that end of the pit lane that we need to find out, please, Jim, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that would be super.
You can fill in your comments box again.
And what was I going to say? I was going to say that I forgot. Oh yeah, number 4 car has taken over 2nd place. That's right. Tommy Milner passed Dirk Mueller a few laps ago. So that on course, they're pretty much, well, they have clinched the championship now. Oliver Gavin and Tommy Milner. And once again, Tommy Milner has absolutely been a superstar this season from my perspective. And he's just moved his way past number 66 Ford up into 2nd place. James Collado is well out in the lead. He's got a 30-second lead in that recent Competizione Ferrari, having completed 330 laps. But now Tommy Milner is edging away from the Ford, and so that The sun is now completely dark here. The sun has long since gone, and I've just realised that the lighting out of our booth here isn't particularly good. It's awfully hard to see the cars, which car is going past.
Another cloud of dust at the exit of turn number 1. I could turn the lights off, but then you wouldn't be able to do your lap chart.
Oh, I tell you what, there's a change for second place.
Yes, there is. Spencer Pigot has finally got through.
Yeah, finally made that move on that last lap. So Spencer Pigot, I don't know how he did it, but he's moved his way up into second place for the Mazda prototype team. And that's that'll be a tremendous feather in his cap. He's already got a lot of feathers in his cap, Spencer Pigot, but this would probably crown them all if he could somehow eke out a victory here at Petit Le Mans. That team has worked so hard now for so long, and they've had all sorts of heartbreak and frustration this year. The car's been super fast, but they haven't been able to translate that into more than just a solitary podium finish. And they certainly deserve more than that, but it's been a great drive by Spencer. He's been at the wheel of that car for a long time.
I may have slighted Antonio Garcia, and thanks to El Perry. He's a lap, but almost 2 down. James Collado is hoving into view behind him. Well, actually not, because it's pitch black at the moment as the number 70, the new second place car, Spencer Pigot, goes through in second plus. But in GTLM, James Collado is almost in the same sector as Antonio Garcia. Antonio's just finished the lap now and goes back to a lap down, as James Collado will finish the lap now and put him back to 2. So he is something in the region of 3 or 4 seconds, maybe a tad more, away from going 2 laps down. BMW number 25 had been running very, very well indeed for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Jim Roller has the story of why it's dropped away.
Well, it's not the ultimate driving machine anymore when the steering rack goes on it. So that's what the problem was with the 25 car. Steering rack, similar problem that happened to the 23 a little earlier. So took them a while to change it, just like with the 23. So similar steering rack issues for the 25 and the 23 Porsche. So 25 BMW, 23 Porsche, both suffering steering rack issues.
Wow,
that's very interesting.
Very most unfortunate. That team, they're having a really nice run here. They had looking at the potential of a podium finish. They ran third for a long, long time, and all of a sudden that's come to a grinding halt. So great shame for BMW Team RLL. It's been a bit really disappointing season. They came in with such high expectations for that new M6 GT3, but it just hasn't panned out. The tyres that they're running on that team, the tyres they're running, they certainly weren't developed for the BMW, and the team certainly is kind of lamenting that fact, because some of the other manufacturers have teams that, well, their tyres just seem to be a little bit more suited, let's put it that way, to some of the other manufacturers' cars. PC battle is on again, by the way. It was just a second between them last time around. Tom Kimber-Smith and James French, 52 and 38, stretched out just a little bit on that last lap, but still that battle continues. A tremendous battle it has been.
Yes, the very lovely Kimberly Smith behind the wheel of the 52 car. 4 seconds all of a sudden. He's got the hammer down. Dirk Muller in the remaining competitive Ford, in 3rd position, is trying to close the gap a little bit to Tommy Milner in the Chevy in 2nd place now in GTLM. It's just under 5 seconds. Antonio Garcia doing a cracking job, actually. He's picked up his pace recently and is now lapping round about a second slower than James Collado. So desperately trying to stay just 1 lap down and get that number 4, or the 4th place rather, number 3 Chevy Corvette back onto a lead lap, should there be a chance of a wave around. Still just on 1 lap down, but very nearly 2 laps down at the moment, and having to drive the wheels off just to stay in with any chance of a podium at the moment.
Looking on screen now is Spencer Pigot in that number 70 car. You know, he had immense frustration for Spencer during this huge long stint, because for much of it he was stuck behind the number 10 car, just could not find a way past. Made the pit stops. The 10 car dropped back. We don't really know why. It was a slower pit stop for the number 10, which is really unusual on its last stop. So Spencer was clear of that. The bad news is the number 31 car came out ahead of it, and he was then stuck behind the 31 car for a long, long time. But Spencer has now found his way past. up into second place and turning some good laps. He's edged out 3 or 4 seconds over the number 31 car that runs in second place. But I do wonder why that number 10 car slipped back on that last pit stop, because they didn't even change drivers. So it's curious.
It was a bodywork problem on the front of the car.
Is that what it was? Well done.
Yeah, they had a lot of bumping and boring on the front of the car. Whether there'd been some contact or whether it had rattled loose, that is a question we don't know.
Brilliant, well done.
90 minutes under to go.
Yep, so from here now, any pit stops after here for most of the prototype cars could get to the end, but they're not yet. Yeah, if they were pitting now, there would still be one more stop. So they're all going to have to make 2 more pit stops before the end of this race, I reckon.
Yeah, nobody's going to be able to do another 30 minutes, which is what you're going to have to do to get into a single pit stop range.
Yeah, because the last
got to get under an hour. Everybody. Jim Roller with a pit stop.
Yeah, the 100 is in. The BMW number 100. Edwards is getting out, and Lucas Luhr is getting in. So it's 4 fresh Michelins. The door is shut, waiting the fueling's done. Lucas will be back into the fray. That car pitting out of 7th position, last of the contenders in the GTLM category that are still running, waiting for the 85 to come in out of 3rd position in the PC category. Steve Simpson should be due any second.
Yes.
Yes,
See, he's got the best.
Couple of laps down, I think, Stephen Simpson, but it's certainly been a good run for the Miller Motorsports, JDC Miller Motorsports entry.
And here he comes. Lights ablaze, the blue roll hoop, signifying that it is indeed the 85 car, so the crew knows that he's on his way. He's going to stay in the car. They give him a drinks bottle, 4 stickers, Continental sticker tires going on. This team doesn't stagger. This team does the left side tires first, and then they will do the right side tires, front and back together, cleaning some debris out of the radiators, which is always really important. All the air intakes, cleaning the debris out of these air intakes is really important at this time in the race, because so much of the rubber buildup, and you look at the front of these cars, they're just pockmarked, and you know, they look like they've been hit by black bullets. And so, oh, he's sideways. He got a little fancy there. He went sideways and he hit one of his tires and then stalled it. So Simpson, trying to drop the hammer and head out of the pits, has made a mashup of it. And now he goes back up on the jacks. And this is, he might have broke the drivetrain, boys.
Kenton Cook, fresh out of the number 38 Performance Tech car. You've been out of the car for a few minutes now. You've gathered your thoughts. Just how much fun were you having to be back behind the wheel of a race car?
Oh my goodness. It's such an honor to be back in the race car and to be in an awesome one at that with these guys, the Performance Tech crew. It's really a blessing, and you know, I really can't thank the one above enough for the opportunities that I've been given. And you know, it's definitely shocking to me, you know, that it's like I'm feeling it again. You know, it took me a little bit to, you know, get used to, you know, driving this car again. But, you know, after having enough track time this weekend, that last stint was finally like, you know, it all clicked, and, you know, everything felt good, and it felt back like, you know, when I was in the lights car again, and, you know, everything was just smooth, and like, I knew everything that was going to happen. So yeah, it just felt good, and took available the opportunities that were given to me.
Jeremy Shaw reckons that this Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Cup, right now that you and the 52 are tied, it's going to come down to whoever finishes ahead of the other. Is James going to stay in the car for the rest of the race, or is Kyle going to be the one to bring it home?
James will be the one to bring it home. We've all been really close on lap times together, so he needs still to get his drive time still, and he loves driving at night. So I'm confident that he's going to be you know, right there at the end to fight for it, and the times are proving it. He's catching up to the leader right now. It's just, you know, it's quite difficult to get by the PR1 car just due to the you know, where we're fast. We're fast in different spots. They're fast getting onto the straightaways, and that's kind of where we need to be quick, but we're we're not. We're fast in sector 1, and you know, when the weather got a little bit cooler, it definitely helped us out a lot, and it was definitely a blessing. You know, we're running a little bit stiffer, a little bit more aero, but you know, it's going to be difficult to beat these guys. They're really top notch, and you know, I'm quite blessed to be here.
But you want it more. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shay.
Yeah, that battle is really on again. Just a second or so between those two cars. Not quite sure where they are on the racetrack at the moment, but they've been, it's less than a second now. They've just come across the line. Where are they? No, they haven't. They've just gone. Where are they? Yeah, just come across the line a little while ago. They're separated by less than a second again, those two, with 342 laps in the books. It's a great battle, and James French is driving absolutely superbly. Got a really well set up car there with the Performance Tech machine. They've been fast all weekend long. I think he might have set the fastest lap actually through and up. I think he might have set the fastest lap all weekend in practice, in actual fact. And now he's got his chance to show it.
John, they've taken the damper off the right side of the suspension. It might be a half shaft. It might be something else. They are 85 car is sitting here, just stopped. When he left the pits, he lit it up, and then it quit on him. And it almost sounded, the way it stopped, it almost sounded like it might have been a half shaft. But they've got a leak on the top of the engine as well. So there's more going on here than just the damper. So I will, when I know something more, I'll get back to you.
Thanks, Jim Roller and Shea Adam, who've been working very, very hard indeed as our Continental Tire pit lane crew. Inside the last 80 minutes now of the season. Don't forget, when the checkered flag comes down, we'll have the winner interviews, and then it's Michelin post-race tech. The checkered flag is the end of the race, but only the start of the conversation. As into the pit lane from 5th position, Pipo Durrani in the number 2 ESM car, going for what appears to be a regular pit stop, and people showing no signs of getting out of that car, talking to his team, getting another drinks bottle. That looks like a progressive system as well from Dave and the guys, as he glances left and right, and the car is down and away. That was smooth, very smooth indeed. Ashley Freiberg has joined us.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really, really good. How are you?
Yeah, you're really, really good, because you've just had a couple of decent stints in that lovely M6 GT3 race car.
Exactly. Oh, it felt so good to be back in the car. I was just having fun.
Times were good. You stayed up with Jens and with Cameron when they were both in front of you, running as high as 4th at one place at one part.
Yeah, the car is really good, and honestly the biggest struggle right now is the traffic, and when you get caught in the traffic, you know, they usually pass you in the most unexpected places and you really get held up. So we'll see. Hopefully we get some good luck here in the next hour.
It looks to be difficult surface as well. We had that break-up early on in the track, and the rest of the track looked pretty greasy, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised that the stint I just did with the sun going down, I was expecting the track to grip up, and it actually felt like it lost grip. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but definitely have to be careful.
How long does it take you to get back in the groove? You've had practice earlier on this week, but there's nothing like being in a race situation. You've got to be kind of on it straight away. Hold that thought for a moment, because the 60 car is in from the lead with 78 minutes to go. They cannot go to the end from here. Jim Roller is down there, and it looks like a driver change.
It is. Osnegger gets out, gets a handshake from Michael Shank. Olivier Pla climbs back in, 4 tires. They're belting him in now, giving the windshield a good scrub. They're done fueling already. So the tires have taken a little bit longer. That left side tire gave them trouble, and then they just dropped the jack before the right side rear was done. So they had trouble with the left sides again, John. So that problem seems to have come back. And the final word on the 85 from the PC 3rd place. When Simpson was going to leave the pits, he dropped the clutch and lit the rear tires up. That broke the damper. And then when they were replacing the damper, they realized that and it also poked a hole in the oil reservoir. So what they have done is they have taped up the oil reservoir with about a half a roll of yellow racer tape. So, well, hope that holds.
Thanks, Jim Roller. Now that's a longer stop again, and our IHG Rewards Club keys to the race. Pit stop, you've got to execute. The guys have done a really good job at Michael Shank Racing since they had that problem from early on, but it is costing them time, Jeremy, and that has caused a shake-up at the top of the field.
Yeah, well, that 60 car coming in, that'll mean that number 70 car, Spencer Piggott at the wheel as he comes across the line now. He will lead the race for the first time.
Leads Petit Le Mans.
Yes, they do, in lap 354. And Spencer Piggott goes through. Of course, he owes us a pit stop very, very soon. Last time around, number 60 and number 70 cars came into the pits on the very same lap. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, certainly, number 60 car is good to go now to the end. Oh, no, he'll need one more stop before the end of the race, as indeed will all of the other cars. In fact, I think number 10, 30, 31 and 2 will probably need, well, 2's just been in. The 10 to 31, I think, will need 2 more stops before the end of this race.
Let's have a word with Oz Negri, just out of that at number 60 car. Ollie Pla reinstalled, fourth position and 43 seconds away from the lead. Jim Roller has the news.
You guys have been plugging at it all day. John Pugh, of course, had his stint, and you and Oliver have been doing the heavy lifting ever since. This crew has struggled a little bit with the pit stops. What happened on that one?
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't see what happened, but all I can say is that our HPD Honda Ligier is absolutely awesome. My engineer there-wise, the whole crew from Michael Shank Racing, Gary from HPD just gave us a brilliant car. I mean, we are driving a car, and you know, sometimes we get quite a lot of the glory, but we couldn't do it without you know, this group of guys behind us, and it will mean a world for me to win this race. It's my last race with John, and I'm extremely emotional about it, and I don't think we deserve anything less than that.
Well, I can tell you, fans, this is a man who's left everything out there on the racetrack. He looks absolutely knackered. Will Olivier take it to the finish now?
Yeah, he will go to the finish.
Well, good luck the rest of the way. You guys deserve this one.
Thank you.
Olivier is going to have to fight against Dane Cameron, who just got into the number 31. They've given him fuel and tires. A big round of applause as Dane does a very smoky burnout out of the pit lane to begin what will be his fight for the championship.
Thank you, Shea. Yes, that's a good point, because the championship is on the line for the 31 and the 5. Remember, the 31 Action Express car, the red and white machine, came into this weekend with a slender 1-point advantage. Those two cars have now made their pit stops. Ollie Pla has gone through to start his next lap. We now have to wait for Spencer Piggott and Ricky Taylor to come in. Now, yes, over the top of the brow, the Ford number 66, a very scary moment. We saw exactly what happened in the nighttime qualifying with one of the Fords. The headlights disappearing for a moment. My goodness me. Ashley Freiberg, standing next to me, has just looked in horror. Can you imagine that going down? There's no worse place on the track to do that.
No, I cannot imagine that. He did a good job.
At that point, you've just got to flick everything.
Oh, at that point, you're just driving by memory.
Yes, it's muscle memory. I know that I change down now and turn in. God, that was so scary. Do not do this at home. Did you get a little bit of nighttime driving in before you got out? It was just starting to turn when you came in.
Yeah, I mean, it was just starting to turn. It wasn't that dark, honestly. It was still pretty light out.
This looks pretty cool out there at the moment. Do you... I mean, the cars have been running fairly well today. 96 up into 6th position for your teammates, and Marcus is, for your car rather, and the 97 is up into 3rd position. What do you think for the rest of the race? How are we doing from fuel? Because you guys have been getting decent fuel mileage.
Yeah, we've been getting really good fuel mileage, but I don't know. I mean, the field is just wicked tight, so I'm kind of thinking we're going to need some kind of magic, maybe a caution or something to group the pack back together, because I don't know, it's really competitive. We'll see what happens.
Just sorry to break away from that. I don't understand why the Mazda team hasn't brought Spencer in for a pit stop. Pretty much every pit stop sequence so far, they came in on the same lap as the number 60 car, and not quite sure why they would stretch it, because he's on older tyres now, and he's going to be losing time. I guess. I mean, even if there's a full course caution, it doesn't do him any good.
No,
so
full course
why not
caution
bring him in now? Otherwise, it's going to be one long stint and one short stint, and not quite sure about that. With an hour and 12 minutes to go,
unless he can do enough. No, surely he can't do enough to save a stop. No. Let's talk about that in a moment. As the number 4. Sorry, go ahead, Shea.
Sorry, I was just going to say the GC Le Mans leader is in the pit lane. It is also the car vying for the GC Le Mans Championship. Tommy Milner has gotten out, and Ollie Gavin, who looked so pumped up, has now gotten in. Fueling is done. Tire change is done. Picture perfect stop from the number 4 Corvette team. Ollie Gavin going out again to fight for his championship.
Yeah, it's nice to put it in his hand. The 66 of Dirk Muller in, and has got a rear light out. Left rear light is out on the Ford as it goes out of the pit lane. Now, did that come back on again as he flicked on the headlights? I don't think it did, and that will get the attention of race control. Oh my goodness, electrical issues. This is the Ford with the red marker lights all around. The 67 has the blue and looks like it's just dropped in from outer space. You really can't miss those cars. They've accentuated the body lines with some neons inside the rear buttresses, and they look like a spaceship when they're out there, particularly when the headlights go out, as we saw. That was the blue one that did that on, so that's second time for the 67. I know it was the 66, excuse me, that went out, so that's one for each of them over the last couple of days. A little bit of curb on the inside of turn number 7 for that 66 car in the hands of Dirk Muller, chasing Ollie Gavin 10 seconds behind.
So we saw the number 4 and number 66 car come into pit lane at that time and made their stops. They're running second and third now in GTLM behind the number 62 Risi Competizione Ferrari. An hour and 10 minutes to go. I would say there's next to no chance to be able to get to the end without having to make another splash of fuel. I'm pretty sure the 62 car is going to have to stop again before the end of the race. But we've seen some remarkable fuel consumption from number 6, from the Ford GT already this season, haven't we? So maybe they think they can stretch it. We'll have to wait and see how that one pans out.
In comes the second place car, Ricky Taylor.
Not the leader yet. Wow.
Well, and this is 70 minutes to go before the end. Shea Adam.
Ricky Taylor pulls himself out of the car for the last time, and Jordan Taylor is plugging himself in. He is amped up and ready to go. Sticker Continental tires going on to the 10 Wayne Taylor Racing machine. Left side tires are done. Fuel is still going on. Right side tires have been taken off. New ones are being installed. Driver change is complete. The driver change assistant very happy with himself, cheering in the air. The whole crew celebrating what was a very good pit stop.
Okay, here comes the leader now.
Yeah. Jim Roller.
Well, here he comes, John, to a stop. He hits his marks, the number 70, the Mazda. Little flame back, back flame coming out of the back. That extinguishes itself. It's going to be a driver change. Spencer Pickett, after that absolutely fantastic drive, gets out of the car, gets big congratulations from Tom Long. So it's Miller taking over the car for him. The tires are changed on the right side. Now they're going to change on the left side. Fronts are done, rears are done, fuel is done. Well, Mazda goes back out, and I think, John, did he not keep the lead?
No, he'll move that back up to the Ollie Pla car.
Okay.
I reckon that's an hour and 3 hours and 10 minutes in the car for Spencer Piggott in that machine as he
hopped aboard at. What time did I say earlier on?
I think he said
4:55.
5:55, 6:55, 7:55, 20:05. So that's 3 hours.
That's an Iron Man stint from Spencer Piggott.
Let's have a word.
Sensational.
Before he collapses in a heap and needs to be rubbed down with warm halibut oil, let's have a word with Spencer Piggott.
I think he's going to need more than warm halibut oil, John. He's even trying to stretch his knees and stuff. That was over a 3-hour stint. That was a hell of a job.
Yeah, thank you. That was a while. I had so much fun out there, battling with these guys, and you know, racing against Simon and the Taylor boys, you know, guys I used to race against in go-karts, and now racing here at Petit Le Mans was such an awesome experience. And you know, the car was fantastic. Can't thank the guys at Mazda enough for all their hard work. And you know, we're quick, so Joel's going to finish it out. He's going to do an awesome job, and you know, I hope that we end up on the podium.
All right, best of luck to you.
Olivier Pla just spun coming out of turn 11 and somehow doesn't hit anything. He's got going again, and he will not even lose the lead. Right over the top of turn 11, one of the scariest places on the circuit as you set the car up underneath the coloured part in the middle of the bridge. Just drop 2 wheels over the yellow lines for the pit in on the right-hand side, and the car was sideways as he came across there. Somehow, he's managed to keep that car going. He's kept it running, and he hasn't lost the lead as yet. Now the question is, what damage has been done to the tyres?
Joel Miller now is within 10 seconds of the race leader because of that spin.
Game on, ladies and gentlemen.
What happened
Ashley
here?
Freiberg.
He's another car.
Oh boy.
He came across. Oh, my goodness me.
Somebody coming into the pit lane. Who was that? Was that number 73 car? Was that Jörg Bergmeister?
It was Jörg Bergmeister coming into the pit lane in the Porsche, the Park Place Porsche, and Jörg not really knowing where he wanted to be. And oh, there was a touch. There was a touch on the right rear to the left front. That's a really scary for both of those drivers. Jörg must have seen the car coming up the inside, but he knew he had to get to pit lane and dived across the 60 car, then getting a bit of flame as it fired up.
Bit naughty that, to be honest. Jörg should know better than that. He should have known there was a prototype car behind him, and he pulled right away to the outside coming out of turn 10A, and then had to cut across just as the number 60 car was going through. Ashley?
Yeah, he probably should have committed to pit lane a lot sooner, especially knowing that there's somebody behind you. You got to be really obvious about what you're doing there.
Because the line through that corner is under the middle of the bridge, and you're really only about half a car's width away from being in the pit lane there, you've got to let people know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to flash your indicator, your trafficator, although I have seen that done here in the dark, but you've got to be absolutely clear with the body language of the car.
Yeah, especially since that as soon as you get to the bridge, everything after that is blind. So that's why you got to commit where people can see you.
The race could have been turned on that moment. Jim Roller down in the pit lane.
Well, they sent one of the crew guys across the wall to look at the car when it came by. Not sure what they could see in the dark, but they wanted to just check out the back of the car when he went by. I've got to tell you, poor Oz Negri about threw up when he saw that on the screen. He just has got his hands in his head. He is so emotional about this being John Pugh's last race. Remember, those two guys have been together almost Oz's entire American career. So this is a huge, huge night for this team, and if they can pull this win off, it's going to be absolutely fantastic for him, and that was a very close moment.
Tell you what, though, Olivier Pla's got his head down again now. Just turned a 14.5.
Yeah, don't upset him. Don't upset him. Oh, goodness me. All it's going to do is make him want to drive faster. That's Ollie Pla will want to make up that time. He doesn't want to try and do it all the time, though.
We've got the Pipo factor again. He's Luis Felipe Durrani. Pipo Durrani in car number 2. He's right on the tail now of Dane Cameron. That's the battle for 3rd and 4th positions. And Dane Cameron here wants to make sure that he doesn't do anything silly, because he's in the catbird seat for the championship. He's a lap ahead of the sister car, which is due a pit stop fairly soon in any case. So he can afford to let Durrani go through. I think you might remember back to Sebring, where Durrani sold him a dummy going down into the hairpin and passed him down the inside, didn't he, when he really wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, he did that move twice.
Yes, he did.
Twice in relatively short succession in the last 13 minutes of the race, as we came back off a full course yellow into or close to the last hour. Ashley Freiberg is with Jeremy Shaw, me, John Hindhoff in the booth. Our Continental Tire pit lane reporting team is Shea Adam and Jim Roll at last hour. This is when it gets really, really mean if things go wrong.
This is also when I feel like my heart's going to rip out of my chest.
You can't affect this now. That's the worst thing about sports car racing. It's great being part of a team, but you're looking at your two cars, 6th and 7th, 96 and 7 and 96. And I know you think of it as a two-car car team, but there's nothing more for you to do now. You're standing with us, you're a spectator. Is that horrible?
It's hard, for sure. I mean, even at the start of the race, I felt like I was all pumped up, and I didn't really get in the car until 3 o'clock or something. So, yeah, that's a little strange for me to feel like I'm not in control of my own result.
Yeah, that is sports car racing. That sums it up, though. Lights in the darkness at the moment. 2 bright white lights made. They're both prototypes, and that is a battle for position. Heading down. No, it's not a battle for position. It's Joao Barbosa about to get a lap put on him by Pipo Derani. Now, no, I'm going to take that back. I think that's the other Action Express car that he's catching up to. Yes, it is. It's the white back end, but the red down the side. So Derani has caught Dane Cameron and is now putting some pressure on them. And they're only 8 seconds behind Joel Miller, who is in 2nd position. Whisper this, but there's a chance here of an all LMP2 podium in IMSA. And I can't remember the last time that happened, although somebody, I'm sure, will let me know. Maybe not in the current era. Not since the merger. I don't think since the merger we have had an all LMP2 overall podium.
I'm wondering why the number 10 car has slipped off the pace, because that was looking really, really strong for a long time. They lost positions in each of the last 2 pit stops. And Jordan Taylor now, as fast as he is, isn't able to make any progress at all towards that battle that now is waging on there for 3rd and 4th place between Dane Cameron and Pipo Derani. Meantime, Olivier Pla is churning out the quick laps there in the 16s on a regular basis, and he's got a lead of 12.5 seconds over Joel Miller.
Right, remember, after the race, we have Michelin post-race tech. We'll review the IHG Rewards Club keys to the race and see who did the best from our points before the race, and we'll find out who is the I Respect Spirit of the Race Award winner. Now, how you get involved with that, and that's all down to you, viewers and listeners. You use the hashtag SOTR. Sorry, check that. PLMSOTR, hashtag PLMSOTR for the Spirit of the Race Award for the person, team or entity you feel most represents the spirit of this Petit Le Mans. Doesn't have to be someone who's winning, and often in fact it's not. Someone who's overcome adversity or has just in your mind shown the respect towards others and the spirit of sports car racing. Hashtag PLMSOTR2 at IMSA Radio. So that's hashtag PLMSOTR2 at IMSA Radio. And questions for Michelin PRT is hashtag Michelin PRT also to at IMSA Radio. I think there'll be some talking points at the end of this, and we'll take some season talking points as well, Jeremy and I, as we lay back and have the cocktails brought in after the end of the race. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, Ashley. Yes, it would. Can I, nomination time?
Yes, please.
Michael Shank Racing.
Yeah, agreed.
For me, and particularly for all the everything that John Pure's done for this sport, and Michael himself, would be one nomination. I'll probably come up with a whole bunch of them actually by the end of this race. We've still got an hour to go, just under an hour remaining now.
I like the idea of putting the nose out for the fans to sign as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lovely memento for John. I'll throw in the John Doonan and the Mazda guys again. They've done really good work. Quietly going on in the background, ESM. And, you know, Pipo Derani, once again, he never gives up. But you can look at a few of the teams down there. What about the PC battle? Pick any of the PC drivers, or teams, should I say. But for me, Risi Competizione, GTLM, Biggie Sims and the rest of the guys, they have not had a great season. They've had a horrible couple of races. They've come to Petit Le Mans. They've put all that behind them, and they've gone out there and currently lead the race with Giancarlo Fisichella. Win, lose or draw, they've done a great job this weekend.
And you say a couple of horrible races, a couple of horrible results. They've had great races.
Good point.
The results haven't been. I mean, they could have won each of the last 3 races, couldn't they? So they really would deserve something to get out of the end of this season. They haven't had a win yet in that car this year, and it's kind of a travesty in many ways.
Yes.
All of the only think Ferrari hasn't yet won a race this season. No, neither Ferrari nor BMW has won a race this season, so that's kind of a travesty.
Is PLM SOTR. PLM, Spirit of the Race, SOTR, at IMSA Radio. Shea, Adam, your nomination for Spirit of the Race, or is it too early for you?
The last few Spirit of the Race award nominees that I've picked have had really bad luck, so I'm going to wait until a little bit later.
Okay, Jim Roller?
I'm going to go with a nod towards Jeremy with a caveat that I thought that the 90 guys, the guys in the 90 car, were just absolutely, they didn't give up. They've kept plugging the whole day, and that really is the spirit of sports car racing. But when you stop and take a look at what John Pugh and Michael Shank have meant to this series over the years, even before the merger, John and Michael were the first ones to go to the LMP2 cars of the people that came over from the Grand Am side. They were the first ones to take the plunge, and it would be wonderful to see them pay it off today.
There's to feel to argue with that. Hashtag PLMSOTR at IMSA Radio. And your questions, points of order, or observations on this race, the weekend, or the season to hashtag Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio. 56 minutes to go. Earl Bamber that was leaving behind Jim Roller in the 912 Porsche, 5th position, but out of contention and laps down.
We haven't talked about the PC battle for a while because that was really close for several laps between number 52 and number 38, with Tom Kimber-Smith holding off James French, but then Tom Kimber-Smith was able to pull away, and he pulled away to a pretty good extent. He was up for about 18 seconds ahead before the number 38 car came onto pit lane last time around. So we'll expect the 52 car onto pit lane one more time. But the question is now whether it can go long enough to get to the end of the race with just one more pit stop. And I fancy that it can, whereas the 38 car we know will have to stop one more time.
This is going to come down to the pit stop strategy, and cars in the pit lane now include the 33, Jerome Blakemolen, from the lead of GTD, and he's being followed down the lane by Andy Lally. This will be the last stop for these two cars. This is the race, could be the race right here if they can jump them. Jim Roller has the 44.
He comes to a stop, Andy Lally, and it looks like he's going to stay in the car.
Oh, he will.
Fuel going in, tires changing. What's that, John?
You're not going to get Andy Lally out of
you couldn't have dragged him. You couldn't drag him out of there with a horse at this point. So lights are still burning on that car. Fuel is going in. Tires are almost done. There goes the last tear off that he'll need. He'll have a clean screen, and he's on his way. Shay?
Jerome Blakemolen is getting sticker Continental tires for this final stint. They are putting every last drop of fuel that they can afford into this Riley Motorsports Viper. Last hour for this Dodge out on track, as it has been with Ben Keating and Jerome Blakemolen for the last 3 years. Here comes the Audi down the pit lane. You hear Jerome Blakemolen revving the Viper within an inch of his life, and he beats Andy Lally out soundly. A big cheer from the whole Viper Exchange team as they did it for their man.
But that is still the battle for the lead, and now there's nothing between them and the checkered flag other than 54 minutes. Outstanding work by the pit crew there.
What we heard earlier on with Andy Lally saying, was it Andy Lally saying they were beaten out of the pits each time?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. By the Ferraris.
By the
Ferraris were 5 seconds quicker, he said.
That's true.
Not by the Dodge. On the front of the 44, there were used tyres, new on the back. John Potter will not do his drive time. He will forfeit his driver points to try and win the North American Endurance Championship. That's the word from the team.
Is Marco Seefried a silver driver?
That's what I'm told by the team.
Do they both have to score?
That's what I'm being told from the team, that he will give up his driver points to give them a chance of winning this, and it will be head-to-head between Blakemolen and Lally till the end of the race.
Okay.
Shit, Adam.
We have more of that going on down here, John. The 5 has come in the pit lane. No driver change, but tires and full of fuel. A little bit of a clean off on the windshield for them. And the 63, the Ferrari that has already won the GTD championship, comes in with the number 1 on the side. When they go back out on track, it will be scored as 3rd at best. Fuel still going into that car. No driver changes here, but a new set of Contis.
Just unbelievable shots from Ollie Gavin in 2nd position. He's 33 seconds behind the leader in GTLM. That's the bright red 62 of Giancarlo Fisichella. Dirk Muller trying to hang on. He was quite a bit quicker than Ollie last time around. Dirk Muller in the 66 Ford closes down to within 4.5 seconds. In GT Daytona, Alessandro Balsan has just pitted from the pit lane, so Blake Molan and Lally have gone through. In the head of the field, Olivier Pla leads by 24 seconds, but needs a stop, we believe. No, he's got to stop again. Joel Miller in 2nd in the Mazda.
Yeah, not sure about to
repeat.
Joel Miller in 2nd place. Pipo Derani is up to 3rd, and Dane Cameron is all of a sudden about 5 seconds behind him. A very slow lap for Dane. Whether he had traffic or whether he had an incident.
And you were right, Marco Seefried is a silver, and only 1 silver or bronze need to hit the 3-hour mark to ensure the minimum drive time is hit. Thank you, Tony DeZino, for confirming that. So John won't score any points. He'll lose his driver points, but the car will in terms of the NEC, presumably for the team's championship.
I'm not sure about that because they're paired. That's a good question.
He gets tied in because he's the 3rd driver.
My understanding is not necessarily correct on that one, and I've really got time to look it up, to be perfectly honest.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Well, amazing this.
But yeah, the car will qualify. That's the important thing.
Yes.
As far as getting the victory.
Marco definitely a silver. Number of people telling me that. If I had but looked at my feed coming into my left, but there's far too much going on out front. Ashley Freiberg is here with us, and 10s for everybody. The 2 BMWs of the Turner Motorsport teams currently 3rd in GTD and 5th in GTD. Marcus Baltala and Jens Klingman. And the pass for 3rd position, Pipo Derani on Dane Cameron, happened just a couple of laps ago. In traffic, 6th through to 7. Pipo Derani taking his opportunity, dives up the inside to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was there 6 cars side by side there? 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. I think there was. And then 3 wide coming out of 7. And Pipo Derani is the white lights in there that just sneaked through and got ahead of Dane Cameron, and that was 3rd position. Yeah. Magnificent from Pipo. Last stop of the season for the number 4 Chevy Corvette.
Pipo, of course, has absolutely nothing to lose whatsoever. He's just going for it. Dane Cameron has everything to lose, because all he has to do is finish where he is now, or even he can lose 1 more place, and he would still be the champion of the IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship.
Shea Adam has been watching the number 4 Chevy Corvette. Ollie Gavin brought it in. That's their last stop, Shea. That's exactly the sound that you want to hear as the car leaves the pit lane for new Michelin tires for Ollie Gavin to try and go out and win another championship for Corvette Racing alongside Tommy Milner. Their last came in 2012. They're going to be again in 2016.
It's not about championships for the 62 car. It's about winning this race. And that is what they're trying to do with this final pit stop. Fuel and tire. No driver change. And this was another quick one, right about 22 seconds. Unbelievable. Great job by this crew.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I really don't know where to look on the timing screens outside the window, on the screens at the moment. There's so much going on. We've only had, of course, 9 hours and 12 minutes of racing, and it's coming down to the last 48 minutes of the season. Ashley Freiberg is still with us. We'll let her go back to the team in a minute because it's getting down to those very, very tense moments. Not quite enough driving for you this season, Ashley, but have you enjoyed what you've done and particularly enjoyed this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. I have to give a huge, huge thank you to IHG Rewards Club and BMW of North America for giving me this opportunity, because I just had so much fun today just driving the car, doing the best job that I could with a great team. So to me, it was a great day, so I'm happy.
And a good way to end the season on a personal note. It'd be even better if the cars can get a decent result. I know you've been looking at doing some driving in other parts of the world, open to offers from Europe and further afield.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking for any kind of drives right now. Yeah, I mean, anything I can find, I'll be happy to do it.
Well, okay. Thanks, Ashley, for adding your insight here as well. Congratulations on a good end to the season. Hope the guys bring it home safely.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ashley Freiberg from the Turner Motorsport equipe.
And here's this battle now for second place with Joel Miller and Pipo Derani. I think it's Joel who still just about has the upper hand. Yeah, as coming out onto the straight one more time. A 377th lap for these cars, but less than a second and a half between them as they head down towards the floodlights and at turn 10 chicane. There is Joel Miller in second place. His best finish in his career so far was earlier this season. He's had a trio of fourth place finishes, and he's looking to better that this evening. Go across the line one more time. So 46 minutes now remaining. Number 52 car comes onto the pit lane for its final pit stop with 370 laps completed. That will be its final stop. But number 38 will still have to make one more pit stop, and I think it's going to be behind even before then.
For the number 52, it was just a quick drink of the bottle for Tom Kimber-Smith, a much longer drink for his fuel tank, as that is still going in. Lots and lots of fuel for this thirsty Chevy motor and this Orica chassis, but 4 new Continental tires have been put in the car. Tom has had a decent amount of water himself, and now he heads out onto the pit lane for the next 40-something minutes.
And a battle for second position. Pipo Derani and Joel Miller are side by side coming down into 10. They've both got green marker strips on the top, and Joel Miller can't hold off, and round the outside. It's another outstanding overtaking manoeuvre in the dying moments of a race from Pipo Derani, and somehow he has clawed the ESM car back up into contention. Goes down the inside into turn 1 to protect. He doesn't need to, because Joel wasn't anywhere near. He's compromised his entry into turn 1, and now Joel is flashing his lights, letting people know he's there. Second and third changing over in the last 46 minutes of the race. And Pipo Derani, is this going to be a fairy tale ending for ESM in the dying moments of the season? The whole prototype formula changes next year, and none of these cars that are here now will be here next year. They're all coming to the end of their lives. All new vehicles next year.
Okay, now, so both of these two cars have to make one more pit stop. What's interesting is that number 2 car has to take on 9 laps more worth of fuel than the number 70 car.
Pipo Derani got down. I couldn't tell which way round they were, Jeremy, because they look so similar with the headlights coming in the darkness, and he got round the outside. That was a really good manoeuvre.
Yeah, he was. That's the preferred line going into that turn, certainly. Yeah. You know, but he knew the 70 car was there, and he had to make sure that he cleared it. He did. He was on the brakes as late as he possibly could.
And Durrani's in the pit lane. Durrani's in the pit lane. They're going to make their last stop now.
Yep.
And I've got to say that the Dane Cameron car is catching anyway. It was catching the pair of them. So let's go down to the pit lane now and see what's going on for the last stop of the season for ESM.
Tires are going on the car now. Obviously, Durrani will stay in the car. What is it about this guy, John? When the sun goes down, he just becomes supernatural. It's unbelievable the moves he's been able to make this season, and it'll be a crying shame if these guys win Sebring, Daytona, and Petit and don't win the North American Endurance Championship.
Yes, good point, well made. So they come out on the final pit stop. Dane Cameron is now within 5 seconds of Joel Miller. Gone through the records. I cannot find a podium full of P2 cars since the merger of Grand Am and the ALMS. So it is a pre-merger event that is happening here, unless Dane Cameron in the 31 car can spoil the party. It's the swan song for the DPs, and the LMP2 chassis as they stand now are all obsolete next year, as in comes the number 70 and the 10 at the same time. Pipo Derani is gone, and the flames from the exhausts herald the arrival of the 70 car to Jim Roller.
Joel Miller staying in the car as we expected. It's tires going on the rear, no tires going on the front, just rear tires and fuel. It's a timed fuel stop. They're holding him up, He's revving. There he goes. 17 seconds.
Jordan Taylor is staying behind the wheel of the 10 as we expected. Rear tires only for the 10 as well. Still sitting, waiting for the last drops of fuel. The 70 is already passing out pit lane. The 10 goes back out. I don't know that we're going to see the number 31 again. They are holding the number up on pit lane. So yes, we will be seeing the 31 one more time, and that will be the final stop for Daytona prototypes in IMSA competition.
Yeah, well, all of these cars in the prototype category are museum pieces for 2017 with the new LMP2 regulations, the DPIs with the different bodywork and the manufacturer engines, the LMP2s with the spec Gibson motor and the spec chassis from 4 different manufacturers. And it is going to be a very, very different looking prototype category at Daytona. Here comes Dane Cameron coming down to Shea Adam for the final pit stop of the Daytona prototype era.
He commits very early, driving through several other pit boxes, making sure he's lined up perfectly on his marks for his crew. They are giving him 4 sticker Continental tires. They've already done the left-hand side, running around the car to begin working on the right-hand side. So we'll have to see if 4 tires or 2 is the right call by the end of this race. The number 2 is illuminated on the side of the car. Very quick stop for the right side tire change, and Dane has already headed back out into the night.
Here comes the 60. Here comes the 60 car making his final stop. Olivier Pla, who has been setting this place on fire since the drop of the green flag. Other than one stint, this car has been right at the point of the field throughout. The final tear-off comes off. 4 brand new sticker tires going on. The signatures gleaming in the headlights here as we're commemorating the 250th race for John Pugh. And it looks like this is going to be a time stop as well. But no, again, the rear tire changing. The rear tire changing has taken a lot of extra time. The fueling was done, and that stop was 33 seconds. 33 seconds. So they have lost about 10 seconds at least on their competition.
Well, that's okay. They had 23 seconds advantage coming into that.
And that's why they came in when they did, Jeremy.
Yeah, and they took the time there to put on the fresh tires. They knew it was going to take a little bit longer, but they know they got the pace. They know they got fresh tires. They're good to go to the end. There's only 39 minutes remaining, so no worries now about the fuel. And he can just go. Get out there in front, get heat into those tires. Don't spin it away again this time. No more heart failure opportunities for Ozzie Negri or John Pugh, please.
Yeah, let's see how their lineup is. They come through. It's Ollie Pla, who is still leading. The rest of the field have gone through. It's going to be pretty tight for the minor places, though. You know, Jeremy, with Jordan Taylor and Dane Cameron separated by nothing at all, less than a second there, and they're only 4 seconds behind the podium at the moment. Joao Barbosa a lap off the lead. In GTLM, let's mention what's going on there, because the Ford, number 66, is leading the race. And that is courtesy of it not having done a 10th pit stop when everyone else has. How far into the race can they go? We've seen this fantastic fuel economy before. Dirk Müller has 14.5 seconds on Fisichella in second in the 62 Ferrari. Then there's a big gap, almost 40 seconds back to Ollie Gavin. So it's between Ford and Ferrari. It's Le Mans all over again, just a bit smaller. Oh, hang on, that's Petit Le Mans. And that's exactly where we are for the 19th time, presented by Harris Cherokee Casino and Resort. Sirius 106 and 145, XM 203. And around the world on the IMSA app, as well as our syndicated TV partners and the RSL networks. This is a run to the line par excellence, with podium finishes to be decided in all classes. Jens Klingmann only 2.5 seconds away from teammate Marcus Paltala in third and fourth. Andy Lally 4.5 seconds behind Jerome Bleekemolen, and that's 33, 44, 97 and 96, all still disputing the positions in GT Daytona. In PC, Tom Kimber-Smith and James French are still battling it out as well. Advantage Kimber-Smith at the moment. Those two are the only two in it, as Stephen Simpson and Richard Bradley are separated by several laps in third and fourth position, with the 85 bright yellow machine having the advantage there. Not putting me money anywhere right now, Jeremy. No. Pipo Derani back to just 0.8 of a second behind Joel Miller, and it's back on again as the number 2 ESM is hoving into view. Flashes, puts the main beam on. Both of them with the bright white headlights heading into turn 1 now. How these guys do this in these conditions, that is extraordinary. Behind them, the 66 GTLM leading forward with the red marker lights all over it, with Dirk Müller, and Fizzy is coming. Fizzy is charging along. He took almost a full second out of the Ford's lead. There's only 36 minutes left. Have Ford Performance and Chip Ganassi pulled out a rabbit from the performance hat here with the 66 car? Can it do 36 minutes? I don't think it can, but what do I know? We said exactly the same at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, and Richard Westwood soft pedaled. He drove with his slippers on and his smoking jacket for something like 47 laps to bring that car home its first victory in international competition. Here's the same move down the inside, this time though for Derani into turn 10, and once again Pipo knifes through and passes the Mazda. Honda versus Mazda, my goodness. Two Hondas now lead the Mazda powered prototype. This is a real endurance battle, and it looks like Joel Miller is not going to give this one up. He's right up alongside into turn 2, has to drop in behind across the curb at turn 3 where the pavement was mended earlier on. And behind, we've got this battle for second and third. We also go battle for fourth and fifth, because on the last lap, Dane Cameron found a way past Jordan Taylor. That was for fourth place. After the round of pit stops, Jordan all of a sudden found himself in front, but not for long, because Dane Cameron has moved through. And he's only about 7 seconds behind Joel Miller. And he's lapping quicker that time around than Joel Miller, but in fairness, Joel was defending. I don't think the Mazda has got the power and the pace of Derani. 12 seconds is the gap between first and second. Yes. Olivier Pla versus Pipo Derani. Right, and before the round of pit stops, John, the gap between those two cars was about 23 seconds. Yes, there's your 10 seconds straight away. Jim was absolutely right. Now, Olivier Pla is driving a Honda-powered Ligier. Ligier is the chassis manufacturers, and Olivier Pla is the preferred works driver and test driver, as is Pipo Derani, driving a Honda-powered Ligier in second place. So now you've got a battle of works drivers from the same factory for a huge end-of-era win. You tell me that there's not going to be a battle between these two. Peter is set to stun. 15.093 for Pla, 15.068 for Durrani. Sit back and enjoy the last 34 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is tremendous stuff, isn't it? In the PC battle, by the way, it does seem to be fizzling out. 52 car now got a pretty handy lead over the number 38, which I believe has got to make one more pit stop in any case. And that battle you were talking about a few minutes ago, GTLM, 12 seconds between Dirk Müller and Giancarlo Fisichella. So that gap hasn't moved much in the last couple of laps, maybe just a little bit less than it was, but not by very much, certainly. And in GTD, Jerome Blakemolen leads Andy Lally. It's a 33 Viper ahead of number 44 Audi by just 1.6 seconds.
I reckon Fisichella is going to catch Müller if he doesn't pit with 5 laps to go. Yeah, about 5 laps to go if Müller isn't pitting. If he pits, it's a moot point, and Ollie Gavin will get second place. Antonio Garcia still a lap away from the leaders, and so it is. I tell you, you've got to give Chip Ganassi team their due. They've rolled the dice here. The worst that can happen is they'll have to splash at the end, and they'll still get 3rd position. They could win it from here if they can stretch the fuel. It's a question of pace. My goodness, they've still got the rear left light out on the back of that 66 Ford. It's not slowing them down. They've got enough red marker lights on it that I don't think it really is a safety issue. So I think that's fair enough that they've been allowed to stay out there. Well, strictly speaking, you've got to have the 2 lights on the back of the cars as they head through. The 44 car going past us now. Andy Lally has about 2 seconds now. He's closed in on Blakemolen. Is that the Viper ahead of him? It is. That's the black of the 33 car. Blakemolen.
That battle has been going on since that last pit stop. There's been nothing to choose between. Actually, this is probably the largest gap there's been between those two, i.e. less than a second.
Giancarlo Fisichella.
Big battle also going on between the 2 BMWs actually at GTD. That's for 3rd place. Marcus Baltler, number 97, directly ahead of number 96 car of Jens Klingmann.
And that's come down. That's only 0.2 of a second. And the reason that Klingmann is picking his pace up is because Jörg Bergmeister is also getting a bit of a wiggle on. That 73 car many times at the end of races this year has found pace that we haven't seen for the rest of the sessions. It likes it cool, and clearly Jörg likes it dark. He's down to 13 seconds away from a podium, and Jörg Bergmeister needs no more incentive than that to get his wiggle on and charge towards the front. The 2 BMWs, in fact, coming down past us now, as across the line, the GTD, Blakemolen and Lally now across the line. Blakemolen's pulled out of 1.1 seconds, a whole 1.1 seconds. It's 9.7 seconds at the head of the field. Just slightly, Durrani takes a 10th from Olivier Pla. Joel Miller is 4 seconds further back. And then it's Cameron, 4 seconds off the 96 car. Klingmann has gone off from 4th position. Oh, he's gone straight on down the old pit lane, coming out of the 11th corner, down the hill. That's a solid 4th position for the 96 team, gone away. And the BMW Worksman has lost concentration or had an issue. Looks like damage to the left-hand side. The car sitting down there and he can't get it fired.
Here we go.
Oh, he's taking his teammate. It's wheel banging. That is so bad form. What is Klingmann thinking there? This is a guy who's a BMW driver, and he turns himself around.
Yeah.
And in comes the 66. Out of the lead of GTLM. Dirk Müller couldn't do it.
Not just a splash of fuel. They are changing at least the left-hand side Michelin. Dirk staying behind the wheel. They tap the fueler on the shoulder, put the car down. It's a little reluctant to fire, but it does, and it goes out. That left tail light, though, still not illuminated.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. There's enough red on that car that you could see it from the International Space Station, frankly, even without that rear light on. It's not exactly easy to miss out there. I am flabbergasted at what Jens Klingmann has done. I know that that is a podium position. It's his teammate, and they are in a solid 3rd and 4th position, which he's now just handed to Jörg Bergmeister. And Paltalla's in the pits. He's going to cost them the position here. Paltalla is in the pits. Now, this is fuel, but is there damage as well? Yes, they're doing tyres on the right side where the contact was, and there's damage to that car. And Jens Klingmann is not going to get a Christmas card from the rest of the Turner Motorsport team here.
He's going to lose 3rd place there to Jörg Bergmeister. Indeed he does. Bergmeister goes past here now. That's number 73 Park Place Porsche into 3rd place.
Jim, was there the tyres that came off, was there a puncture there, or do you think that was a planned stop at the end of the race?
Yeah, I suspect there was a puncture there, but there was very little, if any, damage when the car came by me on the right side.
Durrani, 2nd position, still chasing down the leader. Dirk Muller back out in the Ford 66, and Giancarlo Fisichella takes the Risi Competizione Ferrari of Houston car back to the lead of GTLM in 9th position overall. The 2 Turner BMWs, having been 3rd and 4th, are now 4th and 8th as Klingmann, well, muscled his teammate out of the way. Just don't understand that at all. When you've got Jörg Bergmeister lurking behind you at 13 seconds or so, you just don't want to give him any encouragement. And Bergmeister has cruised through into 3rd position. That is not the... And there's now a headlight off on one of the BMWs. I can't tell you which one yet, but that's going down the back straight. It's flashing on and off. They might get away with that as the leaders are coming through the traffic. Olivier Plat has held position. Pipo Durrani stuck in traffic last time around. Lost a bit of time. He'd got it down to nearly 10 seconds, and in comes the, and there's a puncture on the left rear of Klingmann's car, and the damage there is from side to side. Boudicca's Chariot couldn't have done any better job on the side of that than Klingmann has done, and the 96 car is in. The wheel rim has been shredded. That is unbelievable from a works driver. Well, I don't know why he's slamming the door like that. What was he thinking? Leaning on he's broken the suspension, he's out, he's petulant, he's walking away. Don't like to see that at all. No, not amongst teammates. I mean, you know, he's got to make a clean pass if he's going to make a pass at all. They were side by side coming out of turn at 10A. He's just dumped the car and left it. Yeah. That's extraordinary. In comes... Well, he won the last race. That might be his I don't think that's going to go down well in Bavaria. My goodness me. Well, when you've got drivers in the same team who is just as quick as him, and that kind of attitude, he's not going to go down very well at all, Jeremy, is it? No, it doesn't tend to engender team spirit, does it? Not quite sure. Meanwhile, what's happening in GTD? Still 1.6 seconds between the two leaders there. Yes, I respect nominations for the spirit of the race, perhaps not going to Jens Klingmann. But if you've got one, hashtag PLMSOTR to the @IMSA Radio Twitter account. Shea Adam, we let you off the hook earlier on.
Well, I finally figured out somebody that I can't jinx. The crew of the number 67 Ford GT coming into this race, they were second in the championship. They felt like they could go for this, and very early on it became apparent that this was not their day. But those ladies and gentlemen have not stopped working all day. Every time that car has come in with an issue, they have been over the wall and working like their car was coming in from the lead. Yeah, good point. They have completed 353 laps to Giancarlo Fisichella's 379, so well off the pace. But Richard Westbrook is back behind the wheel of that car now. And Jim Roller, could you get a words with Jens Klingmann?
No, he's walked off in a huff.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
I think you picked the perfect word. Petulant.
Well, I think he knows that he's made a very, very big mistake there. And that is a young man who will have some serious repercussions to talk through. Jim Roller trailing him back into the back of the pit lane. Thanks to the guys from 3G, by the way, who provide our radio equipment down in the pit lane. Been a tough year for everybody this year with some new challenges, and we appreciate the communications backwards and forwards and the ability to speak to the teams. Thanks to you for that, as Olivier Plat has stretched the lead out to 15.2 seconds. The driver's door has been unhooked, so the car is easier to move. There's a new tyre on the left rear, and the 96 BMW, which was in 4th position, and a strong 4th position, has been pushed back down the pit lane.
Yeah, the door's been unhooked, and I think the driver's been unhinged.
Oh, hey! Jeremy Shaw wins the internet tonight.
It's not bad for this time of day, huh?
Tip your waitress. Oh, tip your waitress, try the veil. He's here all week. Had a very long show on Saturday, indeed. Just a question on the 44 car. This is the Magnus Racing machine in 2nd position at the moment with Andy Lally, just 9/10 of a second behind Lucas Lowe. The real concern is Article 12.3.3 about the paired drivers, and I think that they are reviewing that. In fact, I know that the guys up at Race Control, this is about paired drivers. John Potter hasn't done his time in that car.
Is anything like the regulation for...
I'm leaving that well out of the way because we've got enough action to look at on the track, as the car is at the moment trying to get by the leader in class.
Irrespective of whether John Potter scores point, the car is eligible to score points and a victory, therefore. So not worried about that too much. Certainly, if John Potter isn't worried about it, then I'm certainly not. It's been a really good performance there, but and a great battle with the Viper. I mean, just 0.3 of a second as they came across the line on that last lap. Here they are now coming down the straight one more time. The Viper certainly got the legs on the Audi, very much so on the straights, and that's the frustration for Andy Lally right now, because he knows his Audi handles extraordinarily well, but he cannot keep pace with the Viper on the straight. It is the fastest car in GTD, has been all week on the straights, and that's going to be a really tough nut to crack for Andy Lally.
21 minutes of the season to go at IMSA Radio. Your nominations for Spirit of the Race: 67 Ford, 60 at the head of the field. What a great run they've had. What about Mazda? Risi Competizione coming back at the moment in a very strong way after a couple of horrible results. Vote for those or nominate yourself. Hashtag PLM SOTR to @IMSA Radio, and let's have your comments about the blue on blue, or at least the blue and yellow on blue and yellow Turner Motorsport Farrago at the end of this race. That's Michelin PRT coming up after chat with the winners. And we'll stay on air on IMSA Radio and RadioLeMans.com for that, although we'll be giving Sirius 106, 145 and XM 203 back to their lovely owners. And thank you for your airwaves this year as well. Oh, but we're going to get some comments here, Jeremy. I can feel them coming in already.
Well, Marcus Baltala, having had that incident now, is caught right up again with Jörg Bergmeister.
Yes,
so
he has.
A podium isn't out of the reckoning at all. He's clearly got his gander up, hasn't he? He needs charging after the Porsche.
Yes, and that might, and in fact they're together coming through turn number 7.
No,
that's a 62 car, excuse me, in the darkness.
Who's way out in the lead now in GTLM, leads by over half a minute.
I'm suggesting he's not revving that 488 to the fullest extent at this point, Jeremy Shaw. And mind that said, a 21 last time around, Muller a 19.4. Now, Dirk Muller's got new left side tyres and certainly enough fuel to go at the end Ollie Gavin's not giving this up either. He's only 6.5 seconds back. So maybe the 66 car has got something left in hand, but surely they can't make up half a minute in 19. Can't see that doing. So in GTD, Lally and Bleekemolen battle for the lead with Bergmeister and Paltala disputing third position. That's 33 and 44. The white Viper with the green stripe. The 44 is the dark grey Audi, which is stealth-like in these conditions, although it does have the orange around the front grille and the 2 green stripes over the top, the 2 green lit stripes. Marcus Paltala is in the 97 BMW. It's blue and yellow behind Jörg Bergmeister in the 73. That's another dark grey car, but with red accoutrement. Ollie Gavin cruising to a championship, question mark, with Tonio Garcia in 4th position. And that would be enough to give Corvette the clean sweep, wouldn't it, Jeremy?
Yep. Yep, they've already wrapped up the Manufacturers' Championship. They've already wrapped up the Teams' Championship today as well. So yes, great day for Chevrolet and Corvette racing in particular. And it's going to be Chevrolet also clinching all the championships in the prototype class as well, with one or other of the Action Express cars. Right now it's in favour of number 31 car, but the Manufacturers' Championship has already done and dusted, but still number 31 and number 5 car. They're separated by a lap at this stage. So with 17 minutes remaining, it's up to Dane Cameron here just to bring that car home, I would suggest. I'm sure that's what he's been implored by his the team there and his co-drivers Eric Curran and Simon Pagenaud.
Well, I've been told by Turner Motorsport the 97 needed a splash anyway from Marcus Paltala, but the 96 has put itself out of contention there, Jens Klingmann.
Out of the race.
And did not, indeed, out of the race after hard work. I'm sure his teammates will be delighted with that. The 97, though, did not need to be laid on like that. They might be able to salvage a podium, and that might get Klingmann out of the hot water he's in. Across the line, Pipo Derani is dropping away now from Olivier Pla, who's just been able to put in a couple of brilliant laps. Now, the lap times this time around were pretty much 10th for 10th, but Pla has been much more consistent through the traffic, and Pipo hasn't had a lot of luck, in fairness, but it's now out to 17.5 seconds. It was as close as 11 seconds at one stage. It's 10 seconds back from Derani to Joel Miller, who is lapping in the 16s. He's got 4 seconds on Dane Cameron. It's not a lot, and Dane Cameron is lapping roughly the same, 16.1. Then it's only 2 more seconds rather, back to Jordan Taylor in the 10 car, also lapping in the 16s. It's slight advantage to the cars in the higher positions at the moment in terms of the lap times of the positions 3, 4 and 5, but very slight. We're talking 10ths here and there.
Yep, 400 laps now completed by our race leader Olivier Pla. Another landmark there. That's more than the completed, I think, last time this race ran the full distance, despite that lengthy, huge long caution period. But we've only had, what, 4 caution periods, I think, during this race, haven't we?
Yeah, one of them was an hour and 5 minutes.
Exactly. But that was the clean-up process or the track repairs.
I'm hearing we might see the 911 Porsche come out for a run to the flag. Well, the guys have been working on that behind the wall for a long time, since Nick Tandy and Johnny Morlam came together. Johnny is back in the 20 car, and I'm not sure that either of those guys are on each other's Christmas card list anyway, but I'm not sure that they'll be added. Johnny back in the 20 car is in 5th position, and presumably bringing that car home. Oh, now a long lap for Olivier Pla, very long lap at 20.3.
It was.
And all of a sudden it's game on again at 13 seconds. But that could just be traffic. Pla's not going to be taking the kind of risks he was earlier. He doesn't need to. God, Jeremy, what a way to finish, eh?
Yeah.
This is still on. We've seen races won and lost from this time with much bigger gaps than this in the field.
And particularly with Pipo Derani at the wheel.
Oh, you never know what's going to happen with people. Think back to 1999, as Jim has just reminded me. I can't even think of that without... Oh, and the 70 car's gone up in flames. Third position, Joel Miller. Big fire on the right, left rear of that car. It's from the exhaust, though. It might just be a blown turbo and some excess fuel, but it's not going to be a clean sweep for the LMP2s. It's gone wrong in the last 14 minutes for Mazda. What have they done to anger the racing gods? That is disaster and cruel, cruel luck in the last outing for the Lola Mazda chassis. Oh, my goodness me. There's a full course yellow. There's a full course yellow. There's the Plas lead going, and the car is on fire in the pit lane. And the driver is out. It's rolling forward. He hasn't managed to leave it in gear.
Well, not quite sure.
Joel Miller out of the car. The bodywork is on fire behind the IMSA Chevy Silverado safety truck. The guys were right there. That was good work from Joel Miller to park right next to a fire extinguisher. He then ran around the front, and in fairness, he hadn't got it in gear, but he walked around the front and put his foot on the front splitter to stop it rolling back onto the track. And a full course yellow, it'll be, well, will it be a quickie? If it's a quickie, we've got a dash for the cash. Pla versus Derani, Cameron and Taylor.
Yeah, you don't like to see a yellow at this stage. I mean, it's probably dropped some fluids out there, but that's why we have flag signals.
Oh my goodness, though, Jeremy, this is all
like that.
Is this another?
It's been a magnificent motor race, and I just hope it doesn't come down to a crash and bash them last couple of laps.
Well, Dave Beaky Sims will be having his head in his hands now. 35 seconds to the good when that came out, and on the restarts in the last 2 or 3 races, they have not had no luck at all. Joel Miller walks away disconsolately from the number 70 car, and he's fine.
Yeah.
Jeff Carter having a quick word with him from IMSA. Jeff, one of the technical staff, the man at the head of the technical division of IMSA, in fact. And Jim Roller has the news that we dreaded.
They just wound that Mazda a little too tight, John. Expired engine.
Yeah. And it did blow right back. They'd been burning a lot of fuel on the overrun and also on the pit lane speed limiter. And maybe it was just turned up a tad too much. Turned right up to 11. And the 70 car and Lola chassis ends a fantastic racing career for that chassis, as I'm afraid a DNF.
Well,
Viking funeral for that car. Well, I think if you see that much flame on the circuit,
it's not.
It's coming down towards 10A. It's well alight there.
Sure, but there's cars behind him there. He's pulled it right off to the road, right off to the side, and no one's having any problems behind him. And
big explosion of something coming out the back of the car there, engine components or something else. Short yellow, we're being told from race control. Thank you, Bubba. So it will give us the chance to get back to racing as quickly as possible. Joel coming through turn 10A. And he's on the radio saying what's happening, and they're telling him bail out at that point. Wow. And carbon fibre caught fire, burns very, very hot indeed, and smells very, very bad indeed. Jim Roller is down in the pit lane.
I'd rather smell burned tires, to be honest with you. God,
yeah, it's horrible.
My eyes are burning, my throat's, yeah, wow.
Cars are already packing up, and we will have something in the region of 9 minutes. The safety car lights are out, so the response was swift. It will be green and a run to the flag, and we will have something in the region of 9 minutes left. The field is at turn 7. Cars coming past us at speed here under yellow, but that's all right. They'll get back onto the back of the field. So, Jeremy, all bets are off at this point.
Yes, and I just hope it doesn't end in tears, quite frankly. because
there must be a lot of cars between Fisichella and Muller.
I think actually
Ollie Gavin's got a real chance.
Between most of the cars, there's 3 cars in between the race leader and Pipo Derani, by the looks of it. That's
one of which, and in fact, in between them is the battle for GTD. So that's going to be tough for people to get around. Andy Lally and Jerome Blakemolen are between first and second. Yes, definitely. There's a PC car in there as well. Now, then behind them,
the 66 car in the number 4 Corvette for second and third in GTL, and they are together on the road.
Marcus Paltala has lost a lap to the top 3. The 911 has fired and will be coming out the pit lane. We're going back green. So that battle between Klingman and Paltala might well cost that 97 car because he's got on the wrong side of the safety car. Yep. We're racing again. It's green flag. Pla's off in the distance, and Durrani has cut the deficit down, but he's got cars to pass. It was 3 seconds across the line. Dane Cameron is 2 seconds further back. Jordan Taylor was 0.068, and there's traffic. This could all end in tears for any number of people out there. As we race to the flag, Jordan Taylor goes past the BMW. Behind him is the 31 car. He's got through. Taylor's got through. Cameron drops down to 4th.
Smart move by Dane Cameron then. No need to keep the number 10 car behind him. If there had been an incident between those two and he'd fallen off the road, that could have been disastrous. I think he's actually done enough in any case, but still, he's quite wise there to let him go. 4th place will be just fine, because if he can stay where he is now, stay out of trouble, then the championship is his with 7.5 minutes remaining in this race. We're on board here with the, I think that's the Magnus Racing Audi, and just ahead of us there is the Dodge Viper on the left-hand side of the track. Other cars streaming past. But you can see once again the straight line speed advantage of that Dodge Viper. It's really slippery and really powerful. That V10 pounds out a lot of horsepower, and the cars use it to good effect there. No way Andy Lally can get close enough to make a pass down into turn 10.
Back end of Lally's car moving around as through at some pace comes Giancarlo Fisichella, because he's got a job to do as well, of course. Meantime, Ollie Gavin is trying to get onto the back end of the 66 Ford. Corvette versus Ford for second position down into turn 1. Just a trail break into turn 1 for both of those guys. They both go very close to the curb on the right-hand side. They've got traffic, and Muller in the Ford is going to be the man who hits it first. The 912 is there as well, Earl Bamber, but his lap's down. Now Earl can't get involved in this as the 38 PC car pits for a splash at the end of the race, and that is the end of their opportunity to take championship honours. Tom Kimber-Smith will be left unchallenged then in the 52 car. My goodness. Well.
The number 38 car will cling on to second place though, because it's several laps ahead of the number 85 car, which had a problem an hour or so ago. And we knew they were we knew they were going to have to stop one more time in any case, so that's not a surprise to see number 38 car on pit lane.
Yeah, shame for them actually that the incident happened where it did, because the pits never got open because of where the car was, so they couldn't take advantage of the yellow anyway.
Exactly, and same for Paltala as well, who was right there looking to challenge, and he was just lapped by the safety car. And no, that's why we have these wave rounds, so it doesn't disadvantage people.
But that, at this time of the race, I think that's a decent call to get back to racing.
Those are the rules. In the last 15 minutes of the race, then you don't have the wave rounds.
Correct.
Or what have you.
I think that's a very sensible call. Sensible application of that rule. The discretion of the race director, of course, is everything, and there's always that clause. There's Andy Lally in the 44 car. Their strategy under investigation from IMSA for John Potter not doing his time, and it's John Potter and Andy Lally who are the paired drivers. But let's forget about that for the moment and enjoy the battle.
It's a GTD battle at turns 6 and 7 into 7. Whoa, Andy Lally kind of looked to the inside, jigged that car sideways.
And he still didn't seem to lose that much ground.
No, but here, look at him now, though, under acceleration. Bye-bye, Viper. My goodness me.
Now, where's Pla and Durrani on the circuit? Ollie Pla is about to come through, I think, past us. He's Yes, he's through into the first sector. It's 5.4 seconds. Ollie Pla has just got a tiny bit more than Pete Motorani. Jordan Taylor in third will stand on the podium for Will Taylor Racing with his brother in the last outing for the Chevy DP. In PC, it's going to be the 52 team. In GTLM, Risi Competizione, but the battle, it's only 11 seconds between them and the Ford, but Ollie Gavin, he's given the Ford a really good run. The championship is won for Corvette. Garcia in fourth position. They wanted 1 and 2. They look like they're going to get 3 and 4 in GTD. I don't know. I really don't know. Bleekemolen and Lally, 0.8 of a second apart. Very good races, the pair of them. Very fair races, the pair of them. It could still go wrong.
And that battle for second also in GTLM with the Ford of Dirk Mueller and the Chevy of Oliver Gavin.
Splash for the number 9 Stevenson car. Lawson Aschenbach comes in and gives up positions. Brian Sellers goes through. Alessandro Balsan goes through. This is not over. Bergmeister's only 16.5 seconds back. He can't make it up unless there's a mistake, but there's every chance of an issue with these guys battling for the race victory, the final victory. This 19th Petit Le Mans presented by Harris Cherokee Casino and Resorts. As Pete Motorani puts a stunning first sector in 27.8 seconds now, as he's got the lead static at 5 seconds, but there's only a couple of laps left. Meantime, the Ford is held up for a moment behind Alessandro Balsan. Goes down the inside into turn 1. Ollie's got to follow him through, and he doesn't. Smart move, but the Ford still has the BMW of Paltala ahead of him as they go through turn 3. That's the yellow and blue BMW. Ollie Gavin still giving it a go. Gets on the power at turn 5. Is this the opportunity? Man, that Ford is good out the corners. Really good out the corners. Ollie's flashing the light. He wants the BMW to stay out of his way, and he doesn't. He pulls right in front of him. As Ollie Pla comes through. Personal best lap of a 1:14.4 for Pete Motorani. That's 1:14.1, excuse me. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, but it's still 3/4 of a second away from the best lap set by the race leading car. They're both Ligier Hondas.
The ultimate plug-and-play accessory from Ligier as Ollie Pla and Pete Motorani. As through goes Lally. Lally's gone through into turn 10 here. And Magnus Racing have gone through to take the lead with 1 minute and 18 seconds of the race to go in GT Daytona.
Took that somewhere in the middle sector, I think maybe.
Well, I think they were side by side going down into 10 here.
No, I think the move was made before. Well, whatever. It was very, very tight. And it is Andy Lally who leads with less than a minute to go. Do we see the white flag?
I think it will be white flag this time around. As through to our right, Ollie Pla, the final Petit Le Mans in this set of regulations for Prototype, has produced a storming race. 19 years of this brilliant endurance event. Don Paynos back in 1998 put all this together. There was a mistake coming out of turn 5 by Bleekemolen. He ran wide, he tried to block, he couldn't get it done. There was 3 wide as Ollie Gavin was going round the outside. Check that, that must have been the 3 car of Antonio Garcia, but Andy Lally made it stick. A slight mistake by Bleekemolen. There's 12 seconds of the 10 hours left. We never went to the full 10 hours in the ALMS era. When the merger happened, it was made a 10-hour time certain race. And we've had our money's worth and a bit more here, as Olivier Pla will anchor home a famous victory for Michael Shank Racing, an emotional top step of the podium for John Pugh, and the final victory of this formula for LMP2, Ligier Honda, Michael Shank Racing. What a fitting end to this year's race. The stars and stripes on the tail fin at America's race as we come through for American's endurance race finish. Michael Shank with Jim Roller.
Michael, getting the congratulations of the crew. Michael, congratulations. How does that feel?
I don't even, it is so friggin' good. These guys deserve it. Honda deserve it. Pla, Negri, Pugh, 250 starts, win the big one. Shit.
And there's
down here with the prototype champion, Eric Curran. It took you an extra year, but man, you got it done. What's it feel like to be able to put champion next to your name?
It's unbelievable. It's going to take a while to sink in, but unbelievable. I mean, what a year. What a bunch of guys, Action Express guys, Chad, the whole crew, man. It's unbelievable. We really won this for Sonny Whelan right here. So, I mean, unbelievable. I gotta say congrats to Sonny.
Oz Negri getting the hugs of the crew. This is as happy a group as I've seen in a long, long time. Oz, when you got out of the car after your last stint, you were quite emotional. How does it feel now? And how long was that last hour?
I tell you, I would rather be in the car than watching it. I just can't say enough about my team, Michael Shank Racing, my engineers, HBD Honda, Ligier, Oli Pla, and mainly John Pugh.
John Pugh, 250 starts. Congratulations. Is this your biggest win?
It's this along with Daytona, definitely. And being my last race here, this is the way to top off. This is the way to end the whole thing. This is fantastic. These guys are great. Honda's great. Ligier, the whole team. My co-drivers, Oz and Olivier, fantastic.
I can tell you, you carry a special place in Oz's heart because he's been quite emotional the last hour. Congratulations to you. You deserve this.
Thank you very much.
For Corvette Racing, this has been a long time coming. Tommy Milner, champion yet again. First time since 2012 for you guys. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. It feels really good. Just happy with the whole day, you know, happy to finish the season off strong. Even so, you know, unfortunate for the 67 guys, you know, it would have been fun to kind of race them there to the end, but I don't know, just so proud to be a part of this Corvette racing team. I've had the most success in my career by far with these guys, and it gets better and better every year. So.
But hey, at least we figured out the secret, right? You win Le Mans one year, you win the championship the next.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me.
Congrats, Tommy.
Thanks, Shay. Thank you.
Jeremy Shaw is alongside me. Actually, let's go down to Jim first of all, who's with Risi Competizione, Giancarlo Fisichella by 16 seconds, Jim.
Yeah, as I got to climb over the wall here, John. It's not quite as nimble as I used to be. Let's see if we can get one of the guys. There's Tony Vilander. Tony, climb up here. Tony, congratulations. You guys have been close so many times this season. How does this feel to finally take the checkered flag?
I mean, last 4 to 5 races were so difficult. We always had the pace and something happened in the end. The last 1 hour and a half were probably the longest of my life. I want to thank the whole team. Personally, Giuseppe Risi, who believed in me, and we had this awesome program together. Giancarlo Fisichella and also James Calado, who joined us for this race. This is a team effort, and we never gave up. We had contacts, we had issues, but this is it.
Did your heart go in your throat when that caution came out?
Yeah, I mean, I thought another time, another contact, but this time we had the gap, so there were cars in between. The cars in the second and third place, and was awesome day. We were up there the whole 10 hours, and great effort.
Well,
really happy.
Well, congratulations to you. Good job.
Thank you.
Well, the fireworks going off behind us. Here's how they're finished at the front of the field. The sweep of the podium for LMP2 didn't quite happen. We were 13 minutes away from that, but the Mazda expiring leaves third position for Wayne Taylor Racing. Second position, just 3.5 seconds away from the win for the number 2 Tequila Patrón ESM Honda Ligier. People Durrani coming home at last at the last. The fastest lap of the race set by Olivier Pla on lap 244 at 13.478, and they take the victory. In PC, it's 52 from 38, and 52 will therefore take the Endurance Championship. I believe Jeremy's doing those stats at the moment. From 85 in 3rd position. In GTLM, we've heard from from Vilander, and the 62 team win by 15.5 seconds from Ford 66, and Ollie Gavin brings home the number 4 to sweep the championships for Corvette. In GT Daytona, the 33 Viper, finishing 2nd on the road, will win the race. This from race control, in contravention of the paired driver rule 12.33. The primary paired driver does not have enough drive time. Therefore, the 44 is moved to the back of GTD. So the 44 crosses the line in the lead, having had a silver driver do the time, but not the right silver driver. And therefore, Jerome Blakemolen will win for Viper in that car's last outing here. Might well be the last outing for the 44 as well after that decision. The 2nd place will go to the 73 Porsche team, Jörg Bergmeister, and Alessandro Balzan in 3rd position will put our championship winners in GTD on the podium. Jeremy Shaw has some numbers for us before we get another couple of interviews and before we go to post-race tech.
Where do you want to start?
At the top, mate.
Prototypes in the overall championship, championship confirmed for Eric Curran and Dane Cameron. The 31 team will win the team's championship. Chevrolet has already won the manufacturer's championship. In PC, a championship for Alex Papau and Renger van der Zende and Starworks Motorsports. In GTLM, championships for Oliver Gavin, Tommy Milner. Drivers' Championship, the Team's Championship, Corvette Racing, the manufacturers to Chevrolet Corvette as well. And in GTD, the championship has already been won by Christina Nielsen and Alessandro Balzan, and also for Ferrari, Audi will win the manufacturers' championship in GTD.
Gosha.
Well, Ben, that's quite a way to round out the season for Viper. I know that this means a lot to you, getting 3 wins in a year. You're keeping that win rate up pretty high. Congratulations.
It really means a ton. I've tried to win this race so many times through the years, and it means so much to win it for the first time, to be driving the Viper for the last time. So really incredible to put the Viper in victory lane the last time we're going to run it. It's really special.
Well, and we knew coming into the weekend that for you guys to have any chance in the championship, you needed to win. You guys do finish 2nd in points. That is something to be proud about.
We are really happy for Christina and Alessandro. They drove a great season, really consistent all season long. Really happy for them, and obviously we're really happy to finish 2nd. So it's been a great year.
It'll be a big party tonight. Congrats to all 3 of you.
Yes, indeed.
There's going to be some controversy about that GTD victory. I'll tell you that now, and I don't think we've heard the last of this, sadly. We had a situation last year where somebody did a single lap and was still given the points in the victory. And I've got a feeling that this will rumble on. As it stands at the moment, the 44 car crosses the line first by 2.4 seconds, but is excluded effectively from the results and placed to the back because the silver driver that did the 3 hours was not the paired silver driver with Andy Lally. We'll bring you more, I'm sure, on that in Midweek Motorsport on RadioLeMans.com on Wednesday, as that, I'm sure, as I say, will rumble on. The rest of the points, Jeremy?
Yeah, Tequila Patrón North American Endurance Championship, Prototype Division, champions to Joao Barbosa and Christian Fittipaldi, so at least some consolation there. They missed out on their 3rd consecutive IMSA WeatherTech SportsCar Championship title, but they do go home with the North American Endurance title. Action Express ditto. In PC, the Robert Alon, Tom Kimber-Smith, Jose Gutierrez, the car number 52, they have the championship in the North American Endurance Championship.
Thank you very much indeed to Jeremy Shaw, to our Continental Tire pit lane team here, Shea Adam and Jim Roller, and everyone else who's been involved throughout the rest of the season, including our technical team, Brian, Tyler, Bubba, and the rest of the TV crew, without whom we couldn't do our job. To the circuits, the PRs, the teams, and everyone else, thank you very much. Stay tuned. We'll hand the PA back here at Road Atlanta for the podium formalities, but please stay tuned to IMSA Radio and on RadioLeMans.com. Next, it's post-race tech. My goodness me, have we got something for you? Hashtag Michelin PRT. We'll have the Spirit of the Race Award. It's all coming next, live here on IMSA Radio.
This program is a production of IMSA and Radio Show Limited. For more, visit RadioLeMans.com.
The RadioLeMans.com Travel Club is the best way to get to the biggest motorsport events.
Ready-made packages or bespoke itineraries for Le Mans, Daytona, Sebring, the Nürburgring, Spa and Bathurst, and many more. We've got them all covered, so you can be there.
Accommodation, flights, ferries, trains, and the all-important race tickets.
Our travel partners are APTA and ATOL bonded, so you can book with confidence.
Start planning your trip today with the Radio Le Mans Travel Club at RadioLeMans.com.
The checkered flag ends the race, but not the race talk. Post-race tech, have your say. Ask the experts. Make your point. Post-race tech. The end of the race is only the beginning.
Extraordinary. That's all I can say about this season and the finish of the race. Jeremy Shaw is sitting alongside me. Did we do all the championships there? I think we did at the end of that race.